There's no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work. They got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Woo! I tore them all down, and I came here for one reason: to attack and keep coming.
I did this for the rock.
You will rest in peace.
I asked you 1,000,000 times to join the NWO, or you would be for life.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Bang, bang. And what's it gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah! Fire! I won't ride in nothing but limousines, and I won't make love to nothing but the best looking women in the world.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
You will know that your ass is mine.
Bang, bang.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
You got a championship belt? I don't.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
When Ric Flair's in town, showtime!
Woo! Sweet!
My belly's just a little big, my hand is just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
Beat me if you can survive, if I let you.
Orderly!
Woo! It is Rolex time!
Spoke to Raven.
You just made the list!
Who you beat, brother?
Can you dig that? Sucker! I am the game!
The whole show.
If I can be serious for a minute.
You son of a bitch! Brock Lesnar! Damn!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Oh, you didn't know? I mean, you're the Donald Trump of wrestling. You make Steven Spielberg look like a guy running 8mm films in a garage someplace.
Will you stop?
You don't want to recognize my belt, huh? You don't recognize my belt. I think you're a liar. I think you're a flat out, straight up, lying, crying bitch.
Who the fuck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning. Crack of dawning, now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold out my eyes. See who's this paging me and why? It's my nigga Pop from the barber shop. Told me he was in the gambling spot and heard the intricate plot. A niggas wanna stick me like fly paper, neighbor. Slow down, love, please chill, drop the paper. Remember them niggas from the hill up in Brownsville that you rolled dice with? Smoked blunts and got nice with? Yeah, my nigga Fame up in Prospect. Nah, them my niggas, nah, love wouldn't disrespect. I didn't say them, they schooled me to some niggas that you knew from back when you was clocking minor figures. Now they heard you blowing up like nitro. When they wanna stick the knife through your windpipe slow. So, thank Fame for warning me, cause now I'm warning you. I got the Mac, nigga, tell me what you gonna do. Damn, niggas wanna stick me for my paper. Damn, niggas wanna stick me for my paper. Damn. Niggas wanna stick me for my paper. Damn. Niggas wanna stick me for my paper. They heard about
all right. One day Anthony will pick a song I can sing along with. Anyway, what is going on, everybody? Oh,
so the
yeah.
hip hop, a hip hop, and it don't stop a rocket. I mean, there's got to be like one or two Fat Boy songs that you could probably like go along with.
Yeah, I mean, most 80s rap I can go along with. But, you know, this, I don't know. Anyway, gentlemen, it is Friday night. It is time to start.
Next show we go live.
Yeah, we're live.
Next time we go live, just for y'all do a Kid and Play song.
There you go.
Nice.
It is time to start cracking beers. Because DSD is here. What's going on, everybody? Friday motherfucking night. And, of course, I am Boxman. Chat room, thanks for joining us live. You know we appreciate it. And, of course, across from me, the most electrifying dudes in podcasting, it's Anthony and Smart. Gentlemen, I'm not going to ask how you are. Gentlemen, tell us anyway.
I'll be honest, that song is the appropriate song because I feel like all of us in our own little way have been going through some shit, and this is going to be a venting episode.
Yes.
Both
Look at
with
that.
real life and the professional wrestling business.
A shot for the intro, gentlemen.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. I take a swig.
Yeah,
but you know, I'm off. I've been off today. Outside of like, you know, trolls and just, I think I might have to pull a Bobby Anthem and just kind of like disassociate myself from social media, because every fucking social media form has become a complete and utter shit show of a cesspool.
Yeah,
like just a cesspool of human existence,
to say the least. I mean, I can see you're trying to be nice there. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I do.
Even when I'm irritated, I try to be diplomatic. But fuck these people.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of real weird, not weird. There's a lot of crazy shit going on out there right now, and everyone's trying to push their own narrative on everything. And we'll get into it after. We're going to start with wrestling tonight, but we will get into all that after. But that, in my opinion, that's what's going on. Everyone, and I'm not even saying every side, everyone is trying to push their own narrative on everyone else. And it's insane. But again, we'll get into that later. We'll definitely talk some wrestling right now. I guess we should knock out the plugs. I should probably pull those up, shouldn't I? I should probably move this camera because it looks like it's blinding you guys. All I see is a ball of light in the camera. There we go. Is that better?
Sure.
All right. There we go. So anyway, let me go ahead and figure out what we're going to do here to play behind this. Did I just see Latino Heat? Yeah, let's play some Latino Heat behind this. All right, let's go ahead and get these plugs started then. All right. Of course, the High Marks, you know you guys want to check those guys out. You want to check them out on the Metal Mitt, M-I-T-T network, right here on Mixler, which would be mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. They're on Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Those guys have a lot of fun. You definitely want to check them out. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades. Check them out on the Inhuman Experience and the other podcasts we will talk about soon. And you can find them on all the podcast platforms you can think of. And, of course, the Everything Unscripted podcast. I will be on there this Sunday night, right around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, doing a little Jeopardy. You guys know how wonderful at trivia I am, but we will see what happens. Anyway, I definitely want to be around. I'll let you guys know how I do. And, of course, Stephen Milan, appreciate you sharing the show. Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan is where you can find him. There's 2 L's in Milan. Of course, subscribe, rate, review. You guys know you can go to our YouTube. Subscribe there. You can. It's third sheet, dudes. Definitely check that out. And, of course, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM. Go, Anthony.
Bottom Line Pro Wrestling Podcast. Jason Clark available wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Google Play, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher. You know the drill. Download, rate, subscribe, leave a review. Ran Time with Ray. Ray is spelled R-A-E. You can follow her on Anchor.fm as well as YouTube. You got Shaheen with NuclearHeatShop.com. Clothesline Media with the D for all of your artistic needs. Got a lot of cool merch out, so definitely check him out. And Smart, roll those R's as only you can, Daddy-O.
Yeah, roll them.
Yes, sir. Listen. Oh.
Roll them.
Going on?
Roll them.
You got it, Daddy-O. Anyways, friends, countrymen, lend me your ear because you know what time it is when you're surfing cyberspace. When you're on the road and you're journeying down the information superhighway, I highly recommend that you take a detour and visit our friends at the Planet Raconteur podcast. That is the Planet Raconteur podcast with Papa Dave Sincere, the ever-present Bobby Anthem, and Yuck Nasty. If you can find us, you can check them out. They got the YouTube, they got the Twitter, they got the Spotify. They might even set up a TikTok. Who knows?
Oh,
Bobby Anthem dancing on some TikTok. You know you want it. Fucking shout it out. Let them know. Check them out, motherfucker.
There you go. Get on TikTok while you can. Might be banned soon.
Anyway,
anyway,
on that same note, if you want to make some extra funds, Bobby, you got to do a Vimo. Got to do a Vimo. What's that deal fucking Buff was doing? Was it Vimo?
Cameo.
Cameo. Yes.
I see, and if it wasn't like out of fashion, like nobody used them anymore, nobody really cared about them anymore, I would honestly pay him like $50 just to do like my answering machine.
Yes.
Like let's not motherfuckers.
Come on, man. I mean, you can go. You can get James Ellsworth for like $20. Come on, man.
No. Fuck James Ellsworth for a lot of reasons. No, the voice though, man. The voice.
Yeah.
It's come on, man. Like serious. Like certain very few people have those booming, bombastic voices.
Right.
That's rarefied air.
And I will say one more thing since we are talking about Bobby as though he's not here.
What are we gonna do with Pops? Oh, okay, sorry. Okay.
No, like I was listening to Inhumans the other day, and I highly recommend that you check them out because it's actually educational this week. Because there's a condition called autobrewery syndrome. Do you know what this is? This is what happens when you have yeast. It turns into alcohol in your body.
Okay, I'm interested.
For
Keep going.
People. So you basically just get drunk off of like a high carb diet. This is the situation that's going on there.
And how do I get and how do I get this?
You know, I think you have to be bitten by some kind of like radioactive critter.
Oh.
How one contracts it was not covered, but it was a very interesting. I was unaware of this, and now I envy and covet those who have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that one because I definitely want to hear about that. I'll have to see if they give instructions. And this is how you do it. All right. Oh man. All right. So anyway, we did say we were going to talk wrestling first, and I guess we'll go ahead and get into SmackDown. First bit of SmackDown, in my opinion, guys, was pretty meh. The last 30 minutes, though, the last 30 minutes of SmackDown, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
But the rest of the show, I mean, you know, Big E, once again, I don't know how many times all three of us have put over Big E, and he still is showing that he's going to do just fine on his own.
Yes, sir.
For as long as they let him, and even after. The guy's got the whole. I mean, look, I got to say, this guy's the whole package. He's a built son of a bitch. He's got personality. He's got charisma. He's more than competent in the ring. I don't know, man. To me, this guy's got champion written all over him. I know not everyone in that company probably thinks so, but to me, that's where I'm at. Anthony, sorry to cut you off there.
Oh no, I mean, I gotta echo your sentiments, bro. I mean, we haven't really since we've kind of like breezed through SmackDown the past weeks, really haven't gotten a chance to talk about Big E's newfound singles run, and I gotta say, man, I'm enjoying it. The promos were always good, and he's really starting to find his groove in terms of like mixing the comedy with a slight edge. Mm-hmm. And I like how they haven't completely abandoned the personality, those quirks that got him over initially. Because if you remember, when Big E came on the scene, he was like serious guy, and he was kind of bland, kind of boring. But every so often, he would throw out something that was kind of weird at the time because he was still playing like a super serious guy, and it didn't really fit.
Right.
But then once he got with his New Day guys and he was allowed to be more of himself, show his personality, it clicked. And my biggest fear was that they were going to like totally try to repackage his character, change. I'm loving the fact that they're keeping him pretty much as is, with, like I said, a slight edge. Like I said, little tweaks. Doesn't need to be a whole character overhaul. Doesn't need to be like super serious guy. So hopefully they travel down the same path. I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know how to feel about the Sheamus thing. I don't know why everybody has to go through Sheamus or Corbin, but that aside, I'm very much loving and digging the Big E push.
Yeah, Smart, what do you think of the Big E push?
I mean, I'm all for it. I've, for the longest time, said that they need to do something with that guy. Like, I feel like you could build a company around him.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, since Anthony mentioned Sheamus, like, he's really just starting to win me over. Not for anything he actually does, but I've just never managed to see anybody turn your gear or what you wear in backstage segments and use it for heat better than he does. He looks like a fucking 1920s paper boy, and he just has the smuggest fucking douchebag grin on his face, and it's just something about it that just really does it.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, I guess that's a little bit of Big E there, but yeah, I definitely want to see Big E with with gold, his singles gold, not tag team gold. But they were it was him and John Morrison. They were interrupted by Retribution. I'm still not. I don't know, guys. I'm not sold on this.
You're the only one, let me tell you.
Oh, okay. It's not just me. I thought
you know what this segment was missing. Remember the dude from last week looking into the camera like, "Hey, this is our house now. You might want to go home." And the cameraman, like this, mind you, this dude, like I said, I'm not even saying I'm the toughest guy, but this dude was all of what, 5'3", 5'4". The cameraman was.
That cameraman that ran away last week was like 3 times the size of all these guys.
And he ran like a bitch. like you might want to go like, Jesus Christ. Look, I'm not saying I'm a tough guy, but damn, I would have took my chances with that little motherfucker. Well,
so did Corey. So did Corey. He even fell. Corey has "Stay Down" tattooed on his fucking hands. Easy there, tough guy. Why don't you stay down, bitch?
Yeah, look at.
I guess his life motto is just fuck it. Stay down.
Yeah, that motherfucker. He was like the fucking. He had the Temptation shoes on, running like. He looked like an extra from the 5 Heartbeats with them shoes on, trying to run in them. I mean, fucking look. I'm sorry, man. It's a special kind of dude to run away in dress shoes.
You should be. Hey. The Rock has a very famous people's elbow in dress shoes.
On the border, yeah. Oh, yeah. But The Rock's a cool motherfucker. Damn. He pulled that off.
That was the bet. He's like, I thought I was going over during that move. I remember he told that story.
I'll never forget it. It was on a SmackDown, British Bulldog.
Yep, one of the best.
Slid into it like a bad. Like I said, man. I get some people. I get why some people don't like The Rock now after rewatching that segment because he made even the fuck ups look cool.
Absolutely,
he turned a negative into a pot. Anybody else, they would have fell flat on their ass. No, he made that shit work, boy.
Absolutely,
smoothest elbow you'll ever see.
Kept his fucking balance, stopped right beside the guy, looked at the crowd, and dropped that motherfucker. Perfection from The Rock right there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Always got time to put The Rock over on this broadcast.
Jesus, hell yeah. But I don't know, guys. I'm still thinking Nexus 3.0. Obviously, the core was Nexus 2.0 to me, so that's why I say 3.0. It still got that feel, but it's not even that interesting. Nexus was interesting. It was fresh. It was new. At this point, this is just another invasion. How many times have we seen invasions at this point?
No, honestly, you know what? I mean, it's not. It's not. I don't think it'll be as effective, obviously, but I don't even think they're going for a Nexus vibe with this. I get that in early NWO vibe. Where you just kind of come in, a core group of guys just tearing shit up, and I feel like tonight really kind of nailed it for me. Like the backstage scene, they're fucking going after any and everybody. Locker rooms in a mess, fucking just chaos. And like there's like everybody in the company is trying to come together as one to take out this invading force. Obviously, none of these guys are going to come close to what the NWO was in terms of like cool factor, size, the whole bit. But I feel like that's the vibe they're going for with it.
What do you think, Smart?
Like, I see the thing about it is, in my opinion, is like it seems like they're kind of waiting to do something big, like because they got SummerSlam coming up, and I think that's the goal, is that they're going to have them do something that at least they think is going to get everybody talking. But I feel like you're kind of wasting time in between then, because now like every segment that goes by, I just hear like pretty much everybody making fun of how much of geeks they look like, just how fucking short and goofy, and just how they're like jumping up and down and high-fiving and looking like total fucking dorks over just throwing like a cinder block through somebody's through the door.
Well,
which, by the way, I feel like that was a total missed opportunity. because they threw the cinder block through the door on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I would have loved nothing better if when they panned the camera into into the building, you just hear World Wrestling Federation. One moment. Down at the cinder block and just takes the next call, like nothing ever happened.
One moment, please.
But like, yeah, like that's the thing. It's like I really do think that this is leading up to them doing something substantial at SummerSlam. But if you don't, but like right now they're just killing time. So I feel like they're kind of killing their momentum in a sense, so that when they actually do end up pulling off something big, it just doesn't feel important.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, if Devon and D'Lo Brown are the first people that are fucking unveiled, I am done with this storyline immediately. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
I will do a complete 180 and start praising them if that's the case. Not so much for Devon, but I love me some Devon.
Driving out on motorcycles, you know where I'm going.
Hey, I don't know, man. Like, look, if they bring D'Lo back, they bring back his theme. I won't 100% shit on it. But fucking, like, for real, like, D'Lo's theme was elite as fuck.
I know.
The Attitude Era.
Damn it, Antox. I know D'Lo's on Impact. Come on. Don't make
come
me.
Come on. It's an Impact contract. It's toilet paper, which means it's made out of toilet paper.
That,
get out of
that number one. But I mean, don't make me tell you I was joking. Can you not hear the? Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, obviously kidding.
Real quick, you brought up SummerSlam. I totally forgot they were doing another pay-per-view or special event the week after. God damn! Like,
oh yeah, because not only do you need the SummerSlam, you need the payback from SummerSlam. So yeah, we're getting 2 in a row. Like,
yep.
They missed another opportunity by not calling it Summerfest. When you got SummerSlam, then next week it's Summerfest.
And
special guest star Jeremy Pivens.
and hell, might as well tie in a little bit of news here.
Oh,
we already talked about this a little while ago, Box, but I guess next week going to be our first live SmackDown in a while. They're going to be getting out of the PC.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be out in Orlando, I'm hearing. Is the Amway Center?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're toying with the idea of possibly using virtual fans, which by the way, depending on what the price point is, I might pay to get a Dirt Sheet Dudes logo on a WWE broadcast. I feel like that whatever it costs, it would be worth it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll tell you though, it's I mean, just put cardboard cutouts up there and pipe in noise. As far as I'm concerned, that would be the same thing.
How do you know? It sounds ridiculous, but that's actually what Major League Baseball is doing right now, and it's honestly like it's kind of funny, but like in a good way, because like the NBA is trying to do this, the virtual fan thing, and I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but it's just really fucking creepy. Because like everybody has a different quality webcam, everybody has different lighting, so there's just weird, randomly pixelated people that are just watching on from a million miles away. It feels very like sci-fi, futuristic horror type shit. Like, just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how this works out. What's going on? Now they didn't guarantee it, but they said there may be something going on with the universe. You did catch that, right? They're like, it may work, it might not. So.
Right.
They kind of set themselves up for, if this fucks up and we don't do it, don't be angry at us.
I just see. I think the thing is that they're really, unless there's like a tape delay, which I imagine there would be, but it seems like they're setting themselves up for sabotage. Like if they go like doing that live, and just having, if they bring in actual fans and not just like people that work for the company, because you never know when somebody will just like pull a dick out or just like hold up a fucking racist picture or something. Like, who knows? You're setting yourself up for just all kinds of potential bad things to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some things that could go wrong with that whole situation. And of course,
don't worry, they got tape delay.
Well, of course, the one question would be,
why is your dick out?
I mean, always the question, why is your dick out?
It's a good question to ask.
Yes, again.
Why is your dick out?
I don't know. I hope they get that drop, just in case someone pulls a dick out. They can just go, "Hey, sir,
why is your dick out?"
I mean, but obviously, I'm just happy to see that they're going to be getting out of the performance center. God, I just, I'm sure Vince is happy to get out that goddamn performance center after all of these months. But do you think that the change of scenery will have any type of impact on the your feel of the show right now? I mean, obviously that's more of a creative issue, but do you think a change of scenery will help things a little bit?
It might. And real quick, Antox, even though it's live, you can set tape delays, and every live show does it. I promise you. Yeah, you can set them from, I think, 7 seconds to more, like minutes. So.
Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say real quick. I really feel like the 7-second delay, tape delay rule, I call it the Bret Hart rule, because if you remember, that was the first time like bad language is ever heard on Raw when he went on that tirade. This is bullshit. Everybody in that goddamn dressing room knows I know the best there is, the best there was. That promo. And then if you noticed after that, anytime somebody would go off on a tangent, or you might have a top accidentally on purpose fall off in the crowd, it would be that little 7-second delay where they edited it.
Well,
so yeah,
we still got to see kitty titties on Armageddon.
Yeah, and I still proudly have that on VHS. I'm glad they didn't edit that shit out.
I have it somewhere too. But anyway.
See, I always referred to it as like the Janet Jackson role, just in general, because it seemed like maybe for wrestling it was different, but for like live events, like sporting events and such, like ever since that titty came out, like we were talking at least a 5-second delay.
Oh, dude!
Which like that kills like that always for me that always kills the thing where because every like year it seems they'll have like a Discovery Channel or somebody will have a show where it's like a Daredevil. It's like, oh, he's tightrope rocking over a volcano. It's like, yeah, but they're not going to show him die if he dies. Like, it's going to be tape delayed. They're not going to show a death. Like, so what's the point of watching?
Yeah, well, that's not really where I was going, but
well, where were you going?
I actually don't even know right now. I didn't expect you to go that dark, but I kind of lost my train of thought there. Let's see. We're talking about that. We're talking about nope, not going to catch it. Anyway, let's just go ahead and move on. Asuka won the tri-branded Battle Royal for a shot at the WWE Championship. We had Dana Brooke out there. We had Shayna Baszler out there. By the way, this may have been the most annoying, obnoxious Bayley and Sasha promo. And before anyone says anything, I know that's their job, and they're doing it well. I can still say it was annoying and obnoxious. What do you guys think?
Okay. It was, I'll be honest. I kind of tuned it out a little bit. What I heard of it, it was decent. But it felt like more of the same to me. So I'm not going to say it was necessarily bad, but it was just like, more of the same. I can kind of like tune this one out. So that was my overall feel on it.
Oh, I thought by the way, I thought where I was going back then. Before I lose it again, let me go ahead and go back to it. Anthony, me and you.
Yes, sir.
And now Smart talked about the Janet Jackson and the titty.
Yeah, we talked about that titty a lot.
We have
with good reason.
We have literally broke this down, done the research, if you will. A lot of the new culture came in as soon as that titty, like the next day, they started editing songs on radio. TV got a lot more PC. Literally, that one titty, fucked up television and radio for even until now.
It made Howard Stern clean up his act. Think about that for a minute. Howard Stern isn't even Howard Stern anymore because of a titty.
Nope. They made. And then after that, they made prank calls illegal. And then you couldn't. I remember listening the next day to a radio station, 105.9, which was a classic rock station down in Florida, and they would play, the old songs, like the Steve Miller Band, what's that song? He talked about all that.
People call me the Space Cowboy.
No, not that one. He's got another one, where he talks about I don't want to be caught up in that funky shit going down in the city. They used to play it, edited the next day. You couldn't even hear that word in the song. All the songs that had one little bad word, they took them all out. It was ridiculous. And there's a lot of classic rock songs, actually, that have a bad word in it that you might not catch, but they made it even more catchable by editing. Not even editing, they cut them and then spliced them so it actually, like, sped the song up in that one spot.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. But television got bad. Like I said, me and Anthony have done the research. We've brought this up, I would say, 3 or 4 times on the movie show, at least.
And I'm surprised. You know what I'm surprised didn't have an immediate impact on television in terms of what's put out there content wise.
What?
Remember Jenny Jones back in the day?
Yeah.
Remember that one dude? They did like a show like where like My Secret Lover or somebody has a crush on me or whatever.
Mm.
And the one dude came out and said he had a crush on another dude. Then the dude. He wound up going to the guy's house with a shotgun and basically blowing him away.
I remember that. Yes. I do remember that.
It was I want to say it happened like around 95, 96-ish.
It sounds about right.
I'm actually surprised as fuck that didn't have more of an impact. Cause like I'm surprised like Jenny Jones, like her show was still able to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
You still got like the Jerry Springer type show, Steve Wilkos. Cause that was a big deal. I mean, I know the '90s was like the Wild Wild West, but that was pretty intense.
I think Steve Wilkos still has a show.
So does Jerry Springer. Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Springer show still on? I thought it was. I thought they canceled that shit.
I mean, I don't know, like since COVID, but like at the beginning of this year, it was still a thing.
Really? I mean, I know they play repeats because whenever I go to my parents' house for lunch, they're watching it. Oh my god. My mom watches the worst TV. She'll watch that. She'll watch all those divorce court and people's court. I mean, people's court used to be the shit. Don't get me wrong, but it is just not the same. I mean, meanwhile, that people's court judge, whoever that little Spanish thing is hot as hell. She's gorgeous, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Especially when she gets pissed off.
Oh yeah. And especially when she starts speaking Spanish, I'm like, oh yeah, talk that shit I can't understand, baby. Do it. Whew. That was one of the good things in being from Florida. But anyway, we were talking about the Oscar match. Or not the Oscar match, excuse me, the Battle Royal match. The Tri-Brand. We had Tegan Knox down there from NXT. Who else do we have in there? We had Dana Brooke, Shayna Baszler,
Naomi, Lana. No, I'm sorry. Lacey Evans, Bianca Belair, Tamina.
I think that's enough.
That's what people say when they talk about Tamina. I think that's.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Tamina. Can't forget Tamina.
Yeah, some credit, some prop. No, but so obviously Asuka won. Kind of surprising, but she's going to be challenging for both sets of women's belts at the pay-per-view, the Raw and the SmackDown. I don't know, over or under. She got to take one of those belts. Yeah. And if I had to guess, it's going to be Sasha's belt, because I got to fit just to kind of create that tension. Because if you noticed at the beginning of that promo, Sasha was throwing a little bit of shade Bayley's way since it was her fault, storyline wise, that she has to defend the belt at SummerSlam. And I feel like they're going to continue that tease.
Can I disagree a little bit?
Okay, free speech. That whole bit. Go ahead.
That whole bit. I think it's actually going to be Bayley's. You know why? Everyone's bringing up the fact that Sasha's never had a very long title run, right?
Yeah.
I think just to spite people, they're going to give her a little bit longer of a title run. And I think actually it's going to come off of Bayley. Bayley's had that title. They've been bringing up the past few weeks how many days, how long she's had it, this and that. I think this might be a hint that it's going to be Bayley.
Yeah, but definitely both of them not leaving with their belts intact.
No,
we can all agree on that, right?
Right. Smart. Who do you think?
I mean, I'm prone to agree with you because, as you say, that's a bit of a sign. That's a bit of a tell when they start talking about how long the reign is. So yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and roll with you on that one.
All right. Nice. Very nice. Smart move.
To your point,
Oh shit!
Like you're saying, you know that we everybody here knows that the whole idea was they were supposed to be annoying, but like I was watching that, and it just got to the point where I just took my headphones off. I just stared up at the roof because I can't fucking take this anymore. Like it was awful. Like sometimes I like what they do because sometimes it's funny or sometimes it's interesting, but just this week it went on for like way too long because they decided to announce like 10 people in a row and it was just the same shtick every time. And it was just like Jesus fucking Christ.
I'd rather count the I'd rather count the dots in a popcorn ceiling myself.
And look, it would be funny as fuck if they lost all their belts within a week. Because I did catch one line in the promo where they said they had to defend the women's titles at the following week's pay-per-view Payback. Was Jesus Christ, man!
Exactly.
All of the supply and not enough demand. I'm like, who thought it was a good idea to do back-to-back shows like that? Because to me, I feel like it's going to nullify SummerSlam. Because if they have a show the following week, we're going to have to deal with a lot of bullshit finishes, a lot of controversial finishes to justify doing new matches the following week. Because why would you restart storylines and shit, reset yourself just to have to rush through matches the following week? So this Payback show, it's in the name. It's going to be a bunch of rematches. Exactly.
It is. You're right. We're going to have a bunch of bullshit going on SummerSlam. It's going to be a bunch of continuances, and that's just where it's going to be. But I don't know, guys. I guess we can go on from that. Like we said, Asuka won. That's really all we need to know. You know what, though, in that match I noticed? Like, there was like 5 or 6 that got pulled out. Like, they were on the edge, and another girl ran up and grabbed her feet. How many times can you use that in one match? Did you notice how many times that happened? Like, at least 5 or 6. No, just me? All right, I guess I shouldn't drink so much when I'm watching this show. I honestly don't have anything on the Sheamus and Shorty G. I got nothing.
Is he like a babyface again now? Because I guess he got his ass kicked by everybody last week. Like, I'm confused. What's his direction, his character right now?
I got nothing. I just got nothing on it, man. I don't know. I can't see how you can't take a guy like this. I don't care how fucking short he is, Chad Gable, I mean, and just be like, wow, he's a great athlete. Hey, why don't we use the athlete thing? Yeah, he's a great athlete. Oh, yeah, athlete. Yeah. Let's just let him go out there and have great matches. Oh, okay. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
no.
He's too small. Nobody will believe him as an ass kicker. Like, look at this man's credentials.
I know.
I'm pretty sure he could stretch the fuck out of a guy like Sheamus. I don't give a fuck about the size difference. You put those two in a legitimate situation, my money's on Chad Gable all the way.
Didn't the original Sin Cara take out Sheamus? And by the way, that's the same guy that stopped a match because he broke his pinky finger. That guy took out Sheamus.
Yoshitatsu?
Yoshitatsu.
Then he smacked Sheamus around a little bit.
I believe he did too.
And I mean, to that point of another person you wouldn't expect, but I mean, he is a very much legit dude in his own right.
Yoshi?
Yeah, he came up in Japan. He was doing like the kind of pseudo MMA stuff in Japan. I think he was doing.
Yeah.
I forget what his exact background is, but he was doing. Yeah, it was legit shit.
Yeah. I really got no time for Sheamus, man. I'm sorry. I just got no time. Let's just move on. Let's just go. You know what, guys? I'm glad this next segment happened, and I'm glad it was the AJ Styles segment where he came down and did a little talking in the ring, and I was so happy to see Joseph Parks walk out with him. Abyss to some of you. I was so happy to see him walk out. I like this guy a lot. I really do. And I like this character actually more than Abyss. Abyss is what he is. I really don't think he's great in the ring, but I think he's great as a character. And I think this character, I like this, man. I hope he keeps coming out with him. I really do.
It was. I'll be honest, dude. Somebody had put up a little screenshot of because 15 years ago, they were having matches in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was Abyss at the time. But seeing Abyss or Joe Park, Chris Park, whatever, in the ring with AJ Styles on the WWE broadcast, I got to be honest, it was pretty fucking surreal. That's one of those things that you thought you would never see.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. This is so TNA, but I got to tell you, I hope he keeps coming down with them. It was real. I mean, I even put it in Messenger. I popped on Messenger for Joseph Parks.
And I got to say, though, you know, Smart, you brought it up, I don't know whether it was this last show or maybe the week before, about the continuity. They're actually doing some continuity. Like, it actually warmed my heart to hear AJ refer to him as Joseph Park.
Mm-hmm.
So between that, the ninja continuity with Samoa Joe, like, wow, they're actually they're doing a better job of continuing on with TNA storylines than TNA did with them. This is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. There was some definitely. It was great shit, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the guy. I liked the Joseph Parks character actually better than Abyss, like I said before. But if AJ can keep coming down with him and kind of I don't want him to be his flunky. I don't want him to be his bitch. But I would just like him to be, and not even a manager, because AJ doesn't need anyone to talk for him. Just be there. Just kind of be his right hand man.
Be clapping because that was I'm sorry. Him just kind of sitting there, just clapping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know. He, like you said, like he does the split personality gimmick about as well as anybody. Because I was actually a fan of Abyss. Like I said, he wasn't like a technical guru in the ring, but I was always a fan of like what he put his body through.
Oh yeah.
Because once again, TNA, all the shit that man did to his body for fucking TNA. But as a fan, as a viewer, I definitely appreciated it. I really think he'll go down as one of the unsung heroes of not just TNA, of just pro wrestling in general, because he just seems like a real stand-up guy. Because he literally was loyal to a fault to that company for a long time. Actually turned down an opportunity to work with the fucking Undertaker at WrestleMania for TNA. I mean, like I said, granted, he would have just been another notch on the belt for Undertaker, because no way if they bring the Abyss in to beat the fucking Undertaker at WrestleMania. But still, I kind of like, that's one of those matches I wish we could have got to see. I think that would have been a pretty decent match. But I'm just glad he's finally getting some well-deserved time to shine in the spotlight. And to your point, Box, I'm hoping this becomes a regular thing.
Yeah,
we need this show needs some Joe Parks.
Yeah, and I kind of like this heel AJ Styles, not the I'm a badass heel AJ Styles. I like smart ass heel AJ Styles better. Smart, what you thinking about this whole Joseph Parks AJ thing?
Yeah, I didn't quite pop for it in the same way that you did, because you really seem to enjoy it. But I had a good time with it too. Like I like the idea of him kind of just being his sort of hype man, lackey, whatever you want to call it. It seems like it was kind of one of those things where it was. I wouldn't be surprised if it was AJ's idea. It was like kind of their way of throwing him a bone because of the whole get rid of Gallows and Anderson thing. Just kind of a way to like, well, you're friends with him, right? Let's keep you happy. Why don't you go somewhere else?
I didn't even think about that. You're right. It is. God damn it, Smart. This is payback.
But yeah, I mean, it works.
This is the week after SummerSlam already. This is payback for AJ.
It was kind of a classic thing too, because it gave me a little bit of flashback of like the sort of Attitude Era type days where they would come up with an acronym that was completely stupid, and then they would realize it, and it would already be too late, and they're just like, "Fuck," because he had. I forget what he was calling it, the Performance Institute, something or other. Basically, he came up with an acronym that spelled out piss. He was like, wait, it's still in testing, guys. It's still in testing.
Now,
I know what it was. I think it was like the Performance Intercontinental Statistical System or some shit like that. And it's like, literally, as he's saying it, it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
He's like, shut up. It's like, even he realized it at the last minute, like, oh, shit, it does spell piss.
How come I have a feeling that's the one that might be? If Vince didn't write any lines that night, this may be the one he wrote.
Oh, he definitely wrote something else that happens later in the show.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll wait. What do we got more on the on that segment, guys? If anything, nothing.
One final thing. It made me laugh because he perfectly pronounced Grand Metalik. He even threw a little flourish in there, little Latin flourish, and then the next line he just immediately flubbed statistically. I was like, that's a bit of an upset. Didn't expect the Georgia boy to get Grand Metalik so perfectly, but then just immediately flub up the next thing that he said.
Well, it's Georgia.
I do want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
That we missed out on. I mean, I know he's like a baby face now, but I would have popped huge if you had AJ Styles out there with fucking Drew Gulak doing a PowerPoint presentation on why the Earth is flat.
Oh,
he had the fucking he had the setup. It would have been perfect. It would have been perfect, bro. If ever there was a point in time to do a goddamn PowerPoint presentation gimmick, that would have been it.
Yeah, it would have been. That would have been great. I don't know if we mentioned during that segment, Jeff Hardy did come down and cut a little promo, and those two had a little brawl. That's all I got to say there. I'm not. I really thought after this Sheamus bit, we were going to be done with 12-step Jeff Hardy, but it looks like we're hitting the 13th step now. And
have you ever been good at promos?
No.
Okay, good. I was wondering because I was just listening to him talk, and he was just like, "Man, I think everybody would think that it would be super cool if we had a match."
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, mega cool.
How did you get over? Like, what the fuck?
It was mega cool.
Oh yeah, I remember because I remember laughing at the phrase "mega cool."
Oh.
I was like, "You are so old."
Oh, the sheep chanted it. Mega cool, mega. He's like, yeah, I like it, buddy. I mean, him and Matt Riddle could just cut promos together, and you'd just be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Hey, no. I'm not gonna let y'all shit on Jeff Hardy's promo ability entirely. He cut a hell of a promo from that Waffle House on CM Punk. That was fucking. I mean, granted, he was fucking high off his ass, but it was still a fantastic promo.
Listen,
it was clear, concise, and to the point.
It's amazing with the kind of promos you can cut when you don't remember them.
That might explain why he cut decent promos during that heel run in TNA. Yeah, good. Come to think, I'm not condoning it, but maybe that's the secret to his promo success. Maybe popping oxycodone.
No, he will never let his fans down again. Anthony, shut up.
Until next year.
Don't go. Oh God. Well, you just said out loud everyone was thinking anyway. But I mean, really, you did. So anyway, after that whole little to-do, Grand Metalik, Shinsuke Nakamura, good match. I really don't care. The whole title stealing thing was the most childish thing I've seen in the world, so I don't even want to bring it up. It was just stupid.
Always got to have the Mexicans stealing shit.
And then they go right back and get him again. It's like, what? Or Cesaro, and they just walk down and grab him. It's like, okay, that was a wasted fucking segment. Thanks for doing nothing. Literally, like Smart just said, they just made the fucking Mexicans look like fucking thieves. That's it. What the fuck is going on?
Yep. I hope at least Vince was the one that pitched that segment to him.
Oh,
because I would hate to have some poor guy be like, well, look, I'm going to have you steal the title, but we're good guys. Yeah, but you don't work for the best person in the world.
We might need to go through every show and be like, all right, which was a Vince storyline here? So far we have piss and Mexican stealing. This is not making the man look good at all. All right?
I mean, at least Eddie, when he did it, he made it funny. He was entertaining with it. I feel like, and this is not even about just the stealing thing. I feel like ever since Eddie passed, they've been desperately not only trying to recreate what they had with Eddie, they've been trying to take characteristics that were unique to him and trying to just plaster them on. Hey, you're Mexican. Go watch some Eddie footage and see if you can pull that off. But I'm not Eddie. Oh, it doesn't matter. You're still Mexican. Do it. I feel like that's the extent of the instructions they give these people.
Yeah. Well, let's face it. They tried to turn. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but they tried to turn Chavo into Eddie at one point. I hate to be more of it. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick here either, but they really exploited Rey Mysterio after his death.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Rey was already over. It's not like he needed the Eddie rub, so that was just like bizarre.
Exactly. And even Batista. They exploited Batista a little bit on that whole thing too, if you didn't catch that. But they did. They did. And
I mean,
listen,
we talked about this before, but I don't even necessarily think it's a racist thing as much as it is just Vince doesn't know any better. Like, he just... Any of the like Mexican talent or even just Hispanic talent they have, they either try to make them be Eddie or Rey Mysterio because that's the only two like Mexican, Spanish, Latino wrestlers that he knows. So it's like that's the archetype. Like that's how they try to make everybody be Rock and Austin. That's another version of
right,
them.
right, exactly, man. It's just, I mean, look, they even tried to make Sasha Eddie at one point. Remember?
Uh-huh.
Remember?
I still have fun with that.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I don't know what they were thinking there, but and I know she's a huge fan of Eddie, which, my God, that's great. I am too. I mean, I've said before, when Eddie died, I ain't gonna lie, I fucking cried. I teared up.
So that was the one that got you?
That was Eddie was, man, because it was just sudden. It was just, oh my God, what, Eddie? And he was right in the middle of great shit, and he was a great wrestler and entertaining as hell, man. Yeah, that one got me.
I guess since we're already talking about dark stuff, I've been watching some old, like 2000 episodes of Raw earlier this week, and they had a segment where it was when Eddie and China were teaming, and they were teaming up against Too Cool. And I was looking in the ring, and I was just like, man, 3 out of the 4 of them. And I was just like, fuck, this is depressing.
Yeah.
Howdy Too Howdy was the only one that made it out.
Yeah, watching some of that old stuff, man, will get you like, oh, you watch some of especially some of the ECW stuff. You're watching like, Mike Awesome match. You're like, oh my God, this poor, you just sit there and watch, and you're like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Dude, honestly, since we're going down this road anyway, if you really want to be depressed, go back and watch SummerSlam 1991. Damn near everybody on the card is gone. Like, I would say a good 60 to 75% of the roster that night is gone, is dead. Like, and it's like you're watching ghosts. It's really fucking depressing. I was counting like from the commentary, like the commentary team that night is Piper, Bobby Heenan, and Gorilla Monsoon. That's 3 right there gone.
Yeah.
It's really like when you sit there and really stop and watch some of these old shows. And it gets really used to get later up into the 2000s because you're talking about still young people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm looking at the card. You're not lying. British Bulldog is in match 2. Mr. Perfect is in match 3. Earthquake match 4. Virgil and Ted DiBiase both still alive. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Positive. Big Boss Man. And I mean, I'm not reading all of these, but yeah. Ultimate Warrior in the main event.
Wow.
Andre made an appearance on that card. He was in the corner of it was the Earthquake match. It was the Natural Disasters against Bushwhackers. I want to say that might have been Andre's last pay-per-view appearance for the company. So, yeah, this welcome depression.
Wow. All right. So, on that note, my God, you guys really just fucking killed it. Kalisto did return, by the way.
They put that over like bigger than anything that has happened in this company in the last like 2 years. Like Michael Cole must just be a big old Kalisto fan because he was like, "Oh my God, Corey, Kalisto's back!" I'm like, what? You fucking did he blow you before this started? Like, what the fuck, man? You really put that over.
Okay.
It was like almost like J.R. Schilling for Skittles territory of just like insincere hype.
Oh, that was funny. All right, I'm literally sweating after that. All right, guys, let's talk about this Alexa Bliss sit-down interview. I got to tell you something. This might have been the best Alexa Bliss promo I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this was actually good. They should just interview her instead of having her come out and try to talk, because she's actually good in these little interview segments. I had no issues with it. I actually thought it was pretty good. She came off very well in this segment. I don't know about you guys. What did you think of this little interview?
It was solid. It was nice to see her out of her comfort zone of being like the Valley girl, to basically like, hey, I'm Alexa Bliss. It was different because she had something to sink her teeth into storyline wise. Because I feel like she's one. Obviously, they see a lot in her. They love her based on the amount of television time she's gotten over the past 3 years. But it feels like this is the first time in a long time where she actually has something of substance to sink her teeth into. And I feel like they just gave her some basic instructions, like, don't be so much Alexa Bliss in this segment, but be more Lexi.
Right.
And this, you know what I mean? That's the best way I can describe it. They basically say tone down the character and turn it up on the real person.
Yeah, and we got two, I guess you could call them Beauty and the Beast type storylines going on here. We've got Otis and Mandy and Braun and Alexa. Both on the same show. I don't know what Pritchard is thinking here, but we'll see how that all works out. But Smart, what did you think about the whole little interview there?
So I'm with you. I thought it was a good segment, but again, I got to say that Michael Cole kind of got me again, because they showed from last week of just Braun basically just being like, Fiend's got Alexa Bliss. Well, I don't give a shit about Alexa Bliss. And then they cut back, and Michael Cole's just like, well, how did that make you feel? And it's just like, dude, you're being such a fucking troll. I love it. Like, I was getting a little bit of a vibe of like that old Foley JR promo where he just keeps asking him like insensitive questions, and then Foley clips out.
I wish she just went. I literally wish she just went, well, it was in the script, so it didn't bother me.
Got paid a lot of money for that segment.
Yeah.
I thought it was good though. I like where they're going. They at least they've got people going in angles. They actually have angles going on that I actually care about, like the resolution of, which is probably going to be my fault because they're probably going to abandon them. but right now people have things to do, and that's at least more than they normally have.
I just find it strange they have so many decent storylines going on SmackDown.
That's the ironic thing, though, is like, I'm glad you said that, because they actually do, between this, because they have that one going on, they have, what was the other one? Oh, the Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville thing going on. Like, they have, as of at this moment, they haven't dropped the ball on them yet. They have compelling storylines, but then, like, every week the ratings just go lower.
Well, Raw's ratings are going lower, and supposedly it's the same writer for both shows, right? I mean, or in charge. It's Pritchard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do we have better storylines on SmackDown than we do on Raw? I mean, all we have on Raw is what? Drew and Seth. Oh, and Randy. Okay. So you know what? I think I just actually proved myself wrong. There are some good storylines going on Raw too. So you know what? I'm wrong. I'll shut the fuck up.
No, I really think it just comes down to they basically kind of like taking their audience for granted for so long that even when there is good shit, people are just kind of zoned out of it because you're either used to disappointment, you're tired of seeing your favorites kind of get back, bitched out. You're like, okay, they got something going now. It's only a matter of time before they fuck it up, so why am I going to bother investing in it? So I feel like you have a lot of indifference right now to the product. It doesn't help that we're going through a pandemic and people got other shit to worry about. But I feel like it's more so. This has been a long time coming because even before COVID hit, the ratings were already on a decline. Mm-hmm. And I just think, which boggles my mind, but it goes to show you, with no other entertainment options for all these months, they should have been putting out the best content on a consistent basis, week in and week out. They should have been trying their damnedest to make Raw and SmackDown can't miss TV when people had no other options. And some weeks it would be good, but let's be honest, a lot of weeks it was shit. Both shows. So I really feel like they pissed away a valuable opportunity to get people back invested into the product all of these months that they had.
Yeah, and by the way, Smark, you mentioned the Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville feud. How did Mandy Rose get hotter?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, she was. Did you see the sweat between the? Anyway, that was good.
This is about to turn into a different showbox.
No, I stopped right there. That's all I said was right between the. That's all I said. I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say
It's
anything.
almost like not every woman has to have hair extensions.
No, she looked great, man. She looked really good tonight, and great fucking promo by her. By the way, I will say.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But let me ask you something, Box, along that same note.
Mm-hmm.
And Spark can chime in with this too. Do you think that Mandy is starting to eclipse peak Trish in terms of like looks?
Oh.
Because I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole, but I got a lot of Trish vibes looking at her with the shorter look and the tan, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Because clearly that's what they're trying to model her after.
Yeah, but Trish would have those things just right in your face, just those big boobies popping out of that thing. I still think Trish was hotter. I'm going to have to say it. Mandy's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. She's a fucking 10, but I think Trish was also a 10. So, and Trish was the original, man. So you can't really, if you're looking to recreate, then you kind of got to stick with the original. And Trish is still looking fucking sexy as hell. So that's where I'm at. Smark, since Anthony allowed you to chime in, please do.
I came off.
Yeah, no, it's no worries. I think there's a lot of factors that play with that, and at least in regards to my answer, like Bob was saying, first off, she showed more, but you were at a period in time where you could do that. I don't really think they're necessarily allowing her to do that so much. Like maybe on Instagram and photo shoots and all this, that, and whatever. But they're not doing they're not doing brown panties matches anymore. Which I guess overall that's for the best. But what I was saying, anyways, and then plus when Trish was around, I was like, when she first came in, it was probably like what 2000, 2001. So I'm like 10, 11, 12. I'm starting to come into my own. So there's always going to be a little bit of a special edge there.
Oh my God, Smart!
Why is your dick out?
Jesus Christ!
Know exactly why.
Get out of here, Mom!
Why is your dick out?
Get out of here!
God bless that wet T-shirt video.
Oh, there you go. Oh, those fuzzy Girls Gone Wild videos.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, you need to answer too.
I'm honestly.
Oh wait, Smart. Is it okay if he answers?
I'll allow it.
Okay, Anthony, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I did deserve that one. No, for me, it's close, but I'm going to have to go Trish because Mandy's hot, and don't get me wrong, she knows how to accentuate her assets, but something about Trish, peak Trish, was just woman just ooze sex, like literally without even trying to be sexual, she was sexual. You know what I mean?
Oh,
just
yeah.
Every little thing she did.
Dude, another one that got. I mean, even when she turned that little heel, she was hot. Plus, we got to see her make out with Mickie James. I mean, there's certain things you just got to really put in the plus column. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yes, and honestly, if you really want to, once again, everything she does, sex. Remember the TNA feud? And when I say TNA, I mean Tess and Albert. They had the feud with the Dudley Boys, and the whole crux of the storyline was Bubba was trying to put Trish through a table,
right?
And the whole buildup was, I love tables, and she would be doing all these different vignettes on different tables and wearing like as less amount of clothes as humanly possible on a fucking Raw broadcast. Man. Those segments to this day still hold up.
You know who one of the luckiest guys in WWE back then was? Devon. Devon got to do that "What's Up" move to so many hot women, and just bury his face right there. Lucky guy. But anyway, where were we? Well, hey, we all said Trish. That's a good thing. Trish should feel good. Yeah, Trish should feel great about that.
Thanks, Weaves. Trish seducing Triple H was another good one.
Yes.
fucking remember that was fucking Triple H trying to teach her fucking wrestling holds and shit. That was, I ain't gonna lie.
Stephanie walked in.
Funny. Right there in a fucking downward facing dog.
Oh. Hey, Vince had her barking like a dog in bra and panties, but man, again, all right.
Yeah, the company will never let that shit down, boy.
Nah, let's just move on. Anyway, let's see here. We had the Big E John Morrison match, which got interrupted by Retribution. By the way, it was a great match while it went on. Again, we've put over Big E John Morrison. I can't. I like the guy. I can't deny it. I laugh at him sometimes. He's corny, but the guy in the ring is fucking top notch in my opinion. So ain't gonna shit on it. But that match did get interrupted by Retribution first. And what got me is Michael Cole and fucking Corey are sitting down there like, my God, Retribution's backstage. I wish I could tell these guys. Hey, Corey, you can get off your fucking ass and tell anyone you fucking want, you dumb fuck.
Somebody really should do something. I mean, not us, but like somebody.
Yeah, someone, exactly. What the fuck, man? Oh, but I did like that Cole called out Miz. He's like, Miz, thanks for letting them know that someone's backstage. And he's like, I'm only worried about me and John. That's it. All right. They can deal with everything else. I don't give a shit. But eventually they did go back there. And yes, Retribution did tear up, looked like catering to me.
Was that Bailey on the ground too, by the way?
That was Charlie Caruso on the ground. You mean right up against the thing?
Yeah, was that Charlie?
That was Charlie.
Caruso.
That was Charlie. She was the first one that I saw running, and I'm like, they're chasing Charlie? Well, I mean, I don't blame them. Yeah, she was. She just ended up tucked in behind those anvil cases there.
Pro tip, guys. I don't know if you're following her on social media, on Instagram or for whatever she follow her. That's a special kind of woman. Is all I'm gonna say.
I follow her. Xia Li is another good one to follow, by the way, just to let everybody know. Yeah, that all happened. And then after that, we just kind of rolled into the Braun Strowman and the Fiend thing, which was pretty goddamn good. I got a shot coming in, gentlemen. So go ahead.
Before we get too much more into that, to touch back on the whole Retribution thing, my favorite part of this, the whole little attack angle, they're trying to put these guys over as being a very serious, very ominous threat. They're attacking anything and everyone. And in order to make these big, scary invading force look even more intimidating, they have a segment where they're wreaking havoc backstage, and at one point, they open a bathroom door, a guy's taking a shit. They lock him in the bathroom.
Was that the Usos? I mean, not both taking a shit. I meant one of the Usos taking a shit and the other one out.
That would have been great. That would have actually made that fun and that stupid.
They're both just sitting there taking a shit.
They're like, one's on the left side, one's on the right side. And they're both...
What? We're twins. We're twins.
But yes, that was definitely like, I saw that and I was like, why? Why the fuck would you do that? It made me laugh because it was just such a Vince thing.
I thought that
like, somebody's got to take a shit, pal.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the Usos they beat down. I don't know. I honestly, during that last segment, I was kind of coming in here and bringing stuff in and kind of getting the show set up. So I really didn't. Now I did see the whole. That was hilarious, though. That was hilarious. They slammed the door like it stunk, and then they put the chair in front of it so he couldn't get out.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those tropes. I feel like no matter how threatening, no matter how intimidating these guys are supposed to be, you have to remember one thing: you are still watching a WWE broadcast.
Yeah,
and there still has to be those elements of sports entertainment. You'll never get like a full-on wrestling broadcast with old school violence from beginning to end. You're always going to have those little instances of comedy just to let you know what show you're watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, And in the middle of that match, we get Braun Strowman coming down with no hair. He now really is the Big Stro. I mean,
what do you think of the? What do you guys think of the new look? I was like, wow.
Okay. It's all right. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure the answer to give here. It's fine. What am I going to do? It's not my hair.
Nah, I don't know, man. I just feel like ever since Austin, every white guy just thinks the key to success is shaving their head, and it's basically been like a mixed bag of a success rate.
Yeah, I'm with Antox.
I mean, you had Angle, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm with Antox. It's fine. It's fine. I like I said, it's not my hair. Smark, what do you think of the baldness? Is it sexy? Is he too sexy?
Mm-hmm.
Too sexy?
For the catwalk, yeah. For the catwalk.
Yeah. He does his little turn.
On the catwalk.
Yeah, anyway, let's just skip that.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of like, yeah, like, and I mean, the funny thing is like, yeah, it sounds kind of trivial, but they did put it over on commentary. They were talking about how he's got a new look, and now how him interacting with the Fiend has apparently led to him deciding that he wants to shave his head bald.
All right, great. Interesting. I did like the little thing he did with Alexa Bliss came down, and she smacked the shit out of him, dude. By the way, did anyone catch the piped-in sound for the first smack?
Yeah.
You did too?
Yeah.
It was well-timed, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure they did it post show, but they didn't need it. They did not need it because she slapped him 6 or 7 more times afterwards, and they were not there was no piped in sound. So why do that for the first one and leave? I don't know. You might as well just put bing bab boop sounds, fucking captions up on the screen for all I care.
Like the old fucking Batman show.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Seriously, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
But come on, man. Like, look, the biggest travesty here is the implosion of Team Little Big.
First of all, the fact you knew that name, I want to just... I kind of want to puke. But once again, they used the lights going out as a kind of a cover, I guess you could call it. Again, to not show violence against women, man-on-woman violence.
It's interesting because they showed him drop her, but they didn't show her hit.
Right. They'll tease that edge, but they won't cross that line.
Mm-hmm.
They might be, because I feel like it's something else that happened on the show that we're really not touching on.
Go ahead.
It was a subtle thing, but did you guys notice the rating of this show was TV 14?
Oh, well, that's because of the Fiend, probably, and that's probably that whole segment right there. I did not notice that, but good catch, Anthony. Good catch.
Do you think that's going to be like a regular thing? Because desperate times calls for desperate measures.
Yeah.
And the Latin, they've been like I said, for them. Pushing the envelope. Recently, they've been pushing the envelope a little bit more than usual. Keith Lee cussing up a storm on NXT. Alexa Bliss taking ass whoopings. This is a second one in like 3 weeks.
I don't know, man. I guess we'll. I don't know if it won't continue. Not in my opinion, but I guess we'll have to see. We'll figure out what happens from here. But I don't know, man. I even said on Messenger to you guys, I liked that ending until Braun decided to yell. They were both just maniacally cackling at the end there. Him and the Fiend. I liked that when the lights came on, Braun was gone. Fiend was in the ring. I just thought it was great. I thought it was a really good segment. I mean, the yell. Trust me, I'm not saying I ruined it for me. It was just a little cheesy at the end, but good segment overall, in my opinion, to end the show.
So, what do you guys think about? Because it seems, I don't know. We're talking about the recreation of gimmicks and characters and stuff like that. What do you guys think about the hybrid situation with this, where they're trying to make they're trying to make Wyatt into like a hybrid Undertaker Kane, and throw fucking Strowman into the mix with the magical powers, appearing, reappearing, lights on, lights off.
Well, you got to have someone do that, right? I mean, they have no one anymore to really do that, so I guess you need a couple new guys to have power over light and power over whatever over their hair.
I know it's just kind of weird because at least with Undertaker and Kane, they were like pretty much established from the beginning as having these powers, so you just kind of accepted it. Whereas Bray was around for a few years before he kind of like developed. All of a sudden now he has power to appear and reappear, turn the lights on and turn. You know what I mean? At least like the fucking with Taker and Kane, it was like pretty much ready made. It was already a part of their gimmick, and people just accepted it.
Yeah, but Bray doesn't have powers. The Fiend does. Anthony, this all goes back to the 10-inch dick on Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea only having a 3-inch peen. It all goes back to that. You get it, right?
So now, what do we call what do we call this then? The Hogan defense?
This is the Hogan defense, absolutely. The Fiend, the Fiend, exactly. The butterfly effect. The Fiend has power. The Bray Wyatt is just some loser motherfucker who's got nothing.
He has to put on a mask for power.
I just wanted to clarify that. Absolutely, it's like the movie, the Jim Carrey movie, Mask. Yes.
Yeah, come to think of it, it took him putting on a mask to finally get that elusive win over John Cena.
Telling you, man. See what happens? See what happens when you put that mask on? Everybody's got a mask on. There we go. But
that was SmackDown.
Yes, Mark, you got anything else on SmackDown?
You know, you were talking about he did the laugh. He did the laugh, and the Fiend also stuck his tongue out. So they both went kind of silly at the end. They kind of sucked, but all in all, a good segment.
Definitely. And Smark, you did mention in the messenger that Braun has brought back the Batman voice.
Yes, it is fucking killing me. Like,
what's wrong with it? You don't like it?
You were never my friend. You wanted to embarrass me. Joker.
Thought you would like that voice. You don't like the voice? You don't like the voice?
Oh,
silly.
Yo, I forgot one thing. You know, we were talking about Michael Cole dropping some gems tonight. You'll appreciate this one, Box. During the AJ segment, as they're coming down to the ring, and Cole goes, "Who's that behind AJ? Is that Fred Gwynn?" Like, we got a fucking Monsters reference. So yes, I love the Monsters coming up. I thought that was fucking fantastic. Fred Gwynn is he's so underrated. Loved him and My Cousin Vinny.
Cousin Vinny, the judge, absolutely. I knew exactly.
I figured you would get a pop out of that one. I said, yeah, Box will appreciate that little reference.
I didn't hear it, but I definitely wish I had. And yeah, I knew exactly who you were talking about with that.
I think he called him a bozo too, which got a pop out of me.
Well, that's not nice.
That's harsh language for Michael Cole.
Well, of course it is. But anyway, that was SmackDown. Guys, you want to, let's see, do you guys want to get NXT? You want to do a little bit of news? Because we actually have a lot of news to get into.
I mean, the only major thing coming out of NXT
good.
was the Fireball instantly, right? Clearly, it's the Fireball.
Yeah.
Jesus. Which I know, I'm being sarcastic. That was fucking brutal to watch, man. Speaking of it, like, man, is Killian Cross, is he going to have powers too?
Yes.
Like,
dude, let me tell you what.
That?
Anyone who has Scarlet Bordeaux has powers, in my opinion.
Like, seriously though, what the fuck was that though? Was that not the hokiest shit? I mean, look. Once again, I know wrestling requires you to like kind of turn your brain off and not think about shit, but why with that shit? Like, why? Like they were doing a pretty good job of building these guys up. It's like, you just want to see them kill each other. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously Keith Lee is like your ace in the hole in terms of like marquee guys on NXT. Why you got him in this cornball shit? Why you got him doing the cornball shit? Like, I feel like Keith Lee's character should be above that type of shit. Just my opinion.
You know what, Anthony? Think about it. Every time a character gets above what you think they should be, what happens? They humble them. They have to humble these guys. It's just the way they work. And you're like, why do you guys got to do this? You got to build them up just to knock them the fuck down a little bit. Why build them up to take them down a peg? I don't get it. but they always seem to do it no matter what. I don't know if you've caught the pattern, and it's usually not an NXT pattern. That's a WWE. That's a Raw pattern, a SmackDown pattern. But I don't know. Maybe Vince has his grubby hands on this a little more than we think he does.
Well, I guess like to set the stage, they opened up with Killian Cross and what's the dude that he fought?
Danny Burch.
Danny Burch. They were having a pretty fucking badass match. Obviously, the end was never in doubt. Killian Cross goes over via pass out. Burch passed out. Next thing you know, Keith Lee comes out with the contract. He begged Regal, "I won't touch him. I won't touch him. Now sign the contract, you little bitch." I'm sorry. He called him a punk ass. Yeah, like the language was flying out of Keith Lee's mouth.
Yeah, I'm just watching the segment just so I can watch Scarlett Bordeaux.
Nah, but yeah, like I said, I've been digging the build up to this match for the most part, and it's not like I'm going to like not enjoy the match. I don't think they're going to shit the bed or anything at Takeover. Right. But I just thought this was one of those segments that was kind of like unnecessary. The fireball, like I said, just the way it went down, it wasn't even a good fireball. He literally opened it up, and it was just like it came out of nowhere. It was like a little flash. I'm not expecting the guy to legitimately get his face singed from flames, but literally, it just came across bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was flash paper. Flash paper is the best thing to use. It goes fast. You can get it at any magic shop in the world. It's very cheap, actually, believe it or not. And there's so many ways to ignite it. So, and you saw the way he took the thing for a minute and then he opened it quickly. He was probably trying to click the whatever was igniting it. But it's flash paper. It wasn't good. Actually, I just watched it again right now. But hey, you know what? Keith Lee sold it great. Trust me, this is not the first time we've seen fireballs used in wrestling. At least this one worked, Anthony.
I fucking love that.
That is one of the greatest.
That's what that reminded me of too.
No, this is one of the greatest botch moments in wrestling, right there. One of the great. Who that was? Hogan and Warrior. I thought so. It was Hogan and Warrior, and Hogan's sitting there. I'm like, why didn't they get this man a fucking electric lighter? I know they had them back then because my fucking grandfather used to use them.
Like seriously, like that whole match was a fucking botch fest. Like seriously, Matthew from Botchamania. That one match alone could give him about 3 to 4 months worth of material.
Yeah.
like seriously, that whole match was a fucking botch fest.
He's pulling it out, so it's like it's not even like hidden anymore. He just has it straight out in the open, and like he's like tossing like one of the defective ones to the side.
Yeah,
it was fucking hilarious.
Oh god, that was fucking great, man. And you know what, Anthony? You're right. There's not much more to talk about on NXT, but I'll tell you what we can do. We can talk about the main part of NXT, which will bring us right into news, which is we had a return at the end of NXT.
No, Box, before you go anywhere.
He's right. There was a return to glory for Cameron Grimes.
No, Box, hold that thought. I mean, because I have a theme song. A theme that you should play. Because I feel like it ties into a lot of the detective work we've been reading about online. You know, we got a lot of fucking amateur detectives and lawyers,
all right,
police officers out there.
Sitting here with Messenger open. I'm
One
vamping.
second there.
I'm vamping. I'm vamping here, Anthony.
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
Okay, do you want? I found that audio we were talking about Wednesday with Sammy. We have time. I could send it to you if you want.
Yeah, go ahead and throw it. I got Messenger open. Go ahead and throw it in.
All right.
All righty. Well, it is supposed to be 112 degrees here tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving the house.
No, I sent it, by the way, Box, but
it'll take a second here.
It reminds me of when I was out there for WrestleMania a few years back. Whatever number that was, 32, I believe. And just being in downtown Texas, just walking like half a block, the heat was fucking killer.
Well,
how do you guys deal with that heat year round?
I'll tell you, man, it wasn't the heat today. I mean, the heat was bad, definitely. But I had to. I'm still driving the truck because our truck driver is out. Actually, our truck driver is in worse shape, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to talk about that. But not coming back next week. I'm doing the same thing, and he today wasn't. It wasn't just being in the heat. It was when I got in the back of the truck to unload it, and I had to unload it. It was right in a sunny spot, and I didn't have a dock, and oh my God, it had to be 125 degrees in the back of that motherfucker. Think about it. You're in the back of a truck, tin roof. You're in the back of an oven unloading a truck. You're in the back of an oven, dude. It was a nightmare today. It was a fucking nightmare. But like I said, guys, cold front coming in next week, 91 degrees.
Nice.
Cold front, Texas cold front. That's a Texas cold front right there, 91 degrees. But anyway, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Yes, Anthony, we did have a return. And here we go. Little Unsolved Mysteries. Hi, I'm Robert Stacks. How are you? All right.
Tonight, on...
There you go, a little bit in the background.
The untold story of the Velve-Teen Dream. Why was he brought back to TV? Did he? Is he prepping young boys? For a life of gay pornography. Find out tonight.
One of the saddest.
Gay pornography.
Obviously, we're talking about Velve-Teen Dream's return, and I gotta tell you what I feel is the saddest thing about this. When you start reading, I mean, I'm at some people's posts, it's like they want it to be true. First of all, it's like I really want this guy to be doing what they say he's doing. What? Why? Why would you want that, first of all? I mean, they say he's messing with children. I mean, underage women and boys. What would you want that? You fucking people are sick sometimes. Is all I'm going to fucking say. But I gotta say, I would figure WWE did a little bit, know what's going on. I don't think they would just throw him on TV if they didn't know that he was innocent. I mean, seriously, do you think they would, Anthony? Smark? Either one of you guys?
I look at it like this, and this is the bottom line for me. Vince McMahon is not going to fuck up his money over Patrick fucking Clark. Look, not at the end of the day, I know a lot of damning evidence came out against the guy, but WWE clearly has some optics that made them believe that this guy didn't do anything. Because guess what? If there was an issue, he wouldn't be back on TV. USA would have stepped in. The network would have, we don't want this fucking guy on our television. This is not Hogan in the 80s. They're not going through all the drama if there was any fire to the story, if there was any smoke here. So I just feel like they pretty much got all the reassurances that they needed that he ain't do the shit. That's why he's back on the TV.
What? I mean, seriously, what damning allegations? Honestly,
people are, people are talking about the voice recordings, the pictures.
Okay, we played that voice recording. It was a second voice recording that could have been clipped from anywhere. Absolutely any. I'm still not buying it, man. I'm still not buying it. It still doesn't pass my sniff test. That's all I'm saying. It just doesn't. There's something. The guy was part of a group called Exposing N-Words or something, some sort of group with that word in it. He deleted his Twitter, and right after, these people are. There's something wrong with all this. And I do see one of them, another one. Sean Ross Sapp commented yesterday. I mean, early. I mean, really, like 2 a.m. he commented. Sean Ross Sapp said this about Velve-Teen Dream's little return. There were not many people thrilled to see Velve-Teen Dream back tonight. That goes for staff and wrestlers, all of it. It was a rough one, and many feel that it was ill-advised and stupid for him to make his return. Sapp added. There were allegations in a car wreck and other accusations of bad behavior behind the scenes. There's a lot of rumors down at the PC. Well, not rumors. People know things that aren't related to allegations that have been going on for a long time. He's a peculiar cat in general. Sorry, I have problems with IAR words. And I'm talking outside of the allegations. Because if the allegations are true, that isn't peculiar, that is sick. I honestly don't know what they were thinking. First of all, if you listen, Sean Ross Sapp has a lot of vagueness in this. I don't know if you guys caught that. He's kind of a little vague in this thing. Oh, there's allegations, there's rumors, there's more allegations, but none of it's proven. Unless you're guilty until proven innocent, in this country, you're still innocent until proven guilty. Am I right, guys? I don't know if that's the way it works, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, another interesting thing about this whole little situation is one of the accusers has kind of spoken out, and this is kind of like what irritated me because the guy's name is Josh Fuller. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to read his entire statement, but he basically goes on to say something along the lines of he's pissed because WWE's claiming they did a full-on investigation and he wasn't contacted about said investigation for his input. First off, if a crime was committed, fuck Vince McMahon's investigation. Mm-hmm. Go to the fucking lawyers. Go to the cops. Like to me, if a crime was committed, and this goes, look, I'm going to sound like the old dude on the porch, but fuck it. The problem with this generation is the first thing that comes to mind when something fucked up happens crime-wise is to hop on your phone, is to hop on social media. I'm like, unless you have a cop or a lawyer on your social media, what the fuck are you doing that for? Like, talk to a lawyer, talk to a cop. Like, this dude is like, well, Vince McMahon didn't contact. Who gives a fuck about his input if a crime was committed? Talk to the people like that don't have a dog in the race. You know what I mean? Who don't have any interest into making something go away. Talk to the people who can get you the help that you need, that are actually not going to have like a one side or the other that they want to be on. That's just my 2 cents on it.
No, I get it. Smart, what's give me your 2 cents. Then I'll have 4.
There you go. Almost enough to buy some candy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, anyways, the whole thing, to kind of jump back to the question that you were asking earlier, no, I don't so much believe that they were like completely convinced of his innocence as much as it is that they just weighed the potential pitfalls of the situation of like, they kind of took into account, is he going to face criminal charges? Is the media going to pick it up and make it into a bigger thing? That kind of thing. Like, what evidence is there out there exactly? You know, I'd say more. I say they care. In my opinion, they care less about evidence and more about like whether or not this is going to blow up in their face. Mm-hmm. They're taking a calculated risk, and they seem to think that it is a risk worth taking. I mean, at some point, you do have to decide because you got the guy on roster. You either use him or you don't. You don't keep paying him. You either use him or you let him go. And I don't think right now, at the very least right now, that AEW would pick him up because of the problems that they had in their own company. So it's not like you're really risking somebody snatching him up. Like, you're not worried about Impact. Mm-hmm. You're not worried about him showing up at the Impact Zone. To what Anthony was saying about the guy Fuller, he never, from everything that I have seen, he did not file a police report.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the main problem. And he was saying that basically he was scared that he was going to face repercussions in his career because he's looking to be a wrestler and this, that, and the other. But he ultimately decided it was more important for everybody for him to, speak out and all of this, that. But like, if somebody wronged you in that way, I'm not even saying that he's a liar. I'm saying I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, so let's say that it did happen. Let's say that he is guilty, that he did do what he's being accused of. Why would you not take every possible channel, every possible option available to you in order to seek justice. Like, why not file a police report? Why not, file a police report, go online, do anything and everything that you can do to get the word out that this happened and that you're not happy about it. Like, when you specifically neglect to file a police report, in my opinion, what it is saying is, even if this is 100% true, which it could be, who knows? Even if it is true, you want to decide what happens to him. And unfortunately, whether you like it or not, you do not get to decide what justice looks like. Unless you straight up take it in your own hands and fucking kill the guy. Like, you have to work through the legal system just like everybody else. Right. You can't say, okay, I'm not going to file a police report, but I don't want him to be on TV and making a lot of money. It's like, well, that's not your option to decide. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not trying to stick up for anybody in this situation. I'm just saying, like, you have options available to you. If you neglect to go down that path, you cannot be upset that what you wanted to happen didn't happen.
Yep. Vote. It's just like the whole voting shit. Not voting is your vote. But just to kind of, once again, to put into perspective some of what this guy has to say in his own words, so it doesn't seem like we're shitting on him entirely. And I quote, I'm still pissed. I feel this so hard. Like, I get over it for a little while and then I'm out of nowhere. I'm just like, damn. That sounds like the opening to the hardest R&B song you ever heard.
Yep.
I heard like T-Pain in my head. Like, damn. Like, it's not a funny situation, but I had to inject a little bit of humor into it.
We're going to hell. We're going to hell.
It's a really shitty feeling that I feel like I can't say the things I want to about everything because of fear over my wrestling career. That shouldn't be okay. In retrospect, I'm glad I didn't share things anonymously because it wouldn't have had the same impact, but the paranoia that comes with everything really fucking sucks. I'm doing okay though. I'm just really, really mad that this shit just being tolerated and trying to be swept under the rug like it never happened. The only things really pissing me off from social media are the people claiming that it was clearly investigated when there's no proof or statement that ever was the case. Myself or anyone else involved weren't contacted by anybody to my knowledge. And also the people trying to make this like an AEW versus NXT thing look real dumb. Laughing my ass off. Miss me with that shit. Bad stuff is still bad. Stop comparing situations to each other. Also, anyone claiming I'm coming forward about things for clout, I don't understand the logic behind that whatsoever. I have literally no personal gain and everything to lose by speaking up about things. My morals come before wrestling, and they always will. Which, once again, that's actually kind of contradicting what he said earlier. But I digress. This is way bigger than me. I'm not sure if I'll keep rambling about it, but I just want to say above anything, I never chose to speak out because of myself. It was completely over the kids he sexually harassed and the fact that the internet tried to turn them into the bad people. Be sorry for them, not me.
All right. I mean, heartfelt, definitely. I do want to clear a couple things up real quick. Number one, if they do find out that he did do this, of course, I would say put this motherfucker out and fucking blackball him from everything, and fucking he can fucking die in a fire for all I care. If they find out he did this. Number two, if they used a like private investigator, they may not contact everybody. That might happen. That's how private investigator.
Yeah, because apparently, I forgot where I read it at, but I guess apparently WWE's they're legitimately serious about cleaning up the company. Mm-hmm. And they have this like independent third party organization that does like those type of background checks and investigations. So apparently this group did the investigation in the Dream, and I guess they didn't find anything worth pursuing. Which once again, like it could be twofold. They obviously this whole time he's been off TV, mm-hmm. they've been paying him still. So clearly they don't want to release him just yet. But who knows, for all we know, they could have just brought him back to TV to lower his value. Because if you notice, he didn't win the match that he was in. He didn't get pinned.
True.
But he was spotlighted, but he really wasn't. He has the match with Balor next week. We don't know if he's going to win that. So it could be twofold. Like I said, WWE could be hinging their bets. They could be bringing him back to TV, A, to justify the money that they still have to pay this dude. They get something out of him. They get some type of return on it. And B, they could be trying to lower his value in the event that they have to cut ties with him.
Right. And as far as, the backstage problems that some people that were brought up in that little first thing that I read, that's none of our business. That's for WWE and NXT to handle. That's none of our business. It really isn't. If he's got backstage problems, if he's a dick backstage, a little full of himself, I don't give a shit. That's not for me to fucking deal with. Is it right? No. Are people going to get pissed at him? Absolutely. And if someone else deals with him, I don't give a shit.
Sorry. And I look at it like this: if you know something, either speak on it or shut the fuck up about it. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of these people like, well, someone we knew so and so was into this, that. If you don't speak on it and then you don't speak out on it until after the fact, you're part of the problem.
No.
So if he did some shit that's shady, that's suspect, if you're not willing to speak on it on the record to get some changes implemented, then fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Like that's where I'm at with it. Like either speak up or shut the fuck up.
Speak up or shut up. I like it, Anthony. Anthony's out there speaking in sound bites right now. Smart. Give me some sound bites.
Sound bites. I really don't have too much more to say about it per se. Just, like I was saying, you can't decide, okay, I don't want him to do prison time, but I do want him to be removed from television. I don't want him making money. I don't want him being a successful wrestler. It's like, that's not your option to have. It's not your choice to make. Now, that being said, I got to admit I'm having myself just a grand old time seeing all these like memes and nicknames. Seeing like Velve-Teen Dream, Epstein Dream, like just all these kind of. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. These kind of memes, because like there was when he did have that car accident. I don't necessarily think that was related. Like it was at the same time, but there's really no proof one way or the other. But there was a lot of people on Twitter that were posting like pictures of like wrecked, unmarked white vans, and it's like this guy, like that's going to be the thing. I will say this, because like I'm not saying I don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it. If it's definitely proven that he did do it, like you said, he can burn in hell. But if he is not facing legal action, they have they're going to have to use him at some point. So I will say that much, and I will also say, with that being said, as mature and as like kind of unbiased as I'm trying to be right now, I will absolutely, for like the rest of his time there, be making pedophile jokes at his expense. Maybe not on air, but like while I'm watching TV.
Oh no, you're allowed. You're okay. You're
fair enough.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. Sorry. Not a big deal. All right. So I guess I thought we were gonna dig into that a little longer, but I'm kind of glad we kind of wrapped it up, because you know what? There's really not a lot. I mean, we only know what we know, so we can't sit here and speculate all night on what's going on. But speaking of companies like private investigators, like private companies, this actually brings me to something that Anthony posted in in our little messenger that we kind of the three of us sort of talk on, and it's with Joey Janela. I'm glad you posted this, Anthony, because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think it was meant as a joke, but it's still douchey as fuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Joey Janela apparently has quit Twitter due to feeling pressures of bullying because of people calling him Jelly Nutella, which I can only guess is a cornetism.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, I could only guess. But he has a team of social media experts handling his account. According to the team, I'm going to read this tweet real quick, and I quote, "We've helped Joey take down 29 accounts in which negatively portrayed or slandered the name of Joey Janela since Friday. Wow. Today, any tweets from non-verified accounts that have used Jelly Nutella and or Jelly Janela will be submitted for suspension for harassment." If this is true, we're seriously losing our First Amendment rights in this country, number one. Number two, whatever happened to that old saying, what was it? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. What's happening, Anthony? Smart. What's happening? What's going on with us, man? Are words violence now? Are words now actual violence? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, they're trying to cancel the fucking the Rick and Morty creator for making rape jokes. Like, and my whole thing is this, like, dude, like, look, it's offensive. Like, I get it. Everybody has the right to be offended, but when it comes to comedians, I will forever stand up for the First Amendment right of free speech. Like, I'm so happy to just think about how corny and lame Dave Chappelle would be if he actually gave a fuck about cancel culture. The late great George Carlin said it best. Like, you can make a joke out of anything, even rape. Like I said, I mean, people have the right to be offended, but it's a fucking joke. At the end of the day, they're words. They're words. Comedians, they're basically, they have two jobs: to make you think and to make you laugh. That's all a comedian is supposed to do. Anything beyond that, you're digging for shit that's not there.
Yeah.
So I kind of, this ties into perfectly what you were, the point you were trying to make there, Bucks. But I just had to kind of like get my 2 cents in on that. I mean, I'm not even a big time Rick and Morty fan, but I just hate the notion of people. I hate the notion of censorship over unnecessary horse shit.
Dude, when we're talking about canceling shows like cartoons like Paw Patrol for children, we really are in a bad place in this world. My child last year was Chase, the police dog, for Halloween. What's the problem with that? I don't see the problem with it. We're literally cartoons. Cartoons are now offensive. Okay, if cartoons are offensive, Simpsons needs to go. South Park definitely should be off air by now, right? Shouldn't it?
Absolutely. The Simpsons, has been on lice. The corpse of the Simpsons has been dead for years.
Well, there's that.
To your point, though, and they kind of did make a whole big, and this is a whole nother story and a whole nother issue, but they basically just straight up got rid of Apu.
Right.
They're like, no, this doesn't work anymore, which, again, a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But I can point to, instances on episodes of The Simpsons where he was actually like the only person like on television at that time from that kind of diverse background that was portrayed in a positive light, and not just, oh, he's a fucking taxi cab driver or something like that. But I mean, like I said, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. The Joey thing. Like, I like the guy. I like his wrestling. I like him as a person. He overall seems like a good dude from what I've heard, in interviews and things of that nature. Back at old THT days, there was one thing that bothered me back in THT days, because we had, the group page on Facebook, and I was there, everybody was there, and people would always post, like, they posted that spot that he did with Zandig and all that shit. And they would post all the like videos hyping the Joey Janela spring break and all the little vignettes that he would do. And it was just like, I saw like an endless stream of just nothing but praise. Like, oh, this is so cool. This is awesome. I love this guy. This guy's doing cool shit. So on and so forth. All this and that and the other. Not like any likes, any comments, any kind of mentions about that from him. But then when that page shit happened, when all those videos came out and people were just cracking jokes, like he was on there all day long, just like wagging the finger at us. And I was like, dude, we've like people on this group have spent like weeks at this point, months at this point, like just basically fucking in text form blowing you. And like not nary a like, but somebody cracks one joke that upsets you, you're like, you guys are a bunch of fucking assholes. Like, dude, chill the fuck out.
Well, obviously he's a bit of doesn't have very thick skin, I guess we could say that.
I would say, though, on the contrary to this, or like kind of in relation to this, if Cody did that would have been the most amazing fucking heel move ever. If like any sort of bashing of Cody Rhodes is like, we will submit this to a team and you will be banned, like that would have been fucking phenomenal.
I've got Arn the Enforcer running my Twitter now.
He's enforcing proper Twitter guidelines.
Shit. And you know what, Smart? Good little segue, because that'll kind of bring us into a little bit of AEW news. And then we can get into some of the other subjects in a little while here. First, AEW news. Once again, AEW did win the viewership. It was, let me see here. I'm sorry, 792 for AEW Dynamite did 792, and WWE got 619. So WWE down 22%, AEW down 14%. So there you go.
They basically they won. I feel like AEW won again, but to me, the overall goal should be to gain viewers, not lose.
Well,
so even though even though they won, I still feel like it's a loss.
Well, let's talk about the Demo God real quick, because the Demo God pulled it off again. AEW number 9 in the 18 to 49 demo. WWE 65th in the 18 to 49 demo. 9, 65, 9, 65. One of those did not break the top 50. AEW 9, NXT 65.
To kind of tie a little bit of NXT into this ratings talk. Did you gentlemen catch the Finn Balor promo? Even he's talking about demos and shit. I'm like, God damn! Like, whether you're 18 to 49, 50, or in a retirement home, everybody watches the Prince. Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not.
No, but I mean, but at what point? Because Jericho's like 49 now. At what point will he kind of step over to the other side? Because once he hits 50, I feel like he'll be bashing his own. It'll be like a lot of self-hate going on. Because he'll be in that 50 demographic. And remember, it was the Young Bucks who famously said that they don't want old people watching their show.
Jericho is going to be on commentary for that company for a long time running. As long as they're on, I think Jericho will end up over there on commentary.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just like I can't even remember which one of the Young Bucks. Probably Matt, because he just strikes me as a dick. Shouldn't the goal be to want everybody to watch your show, not just a segment of the audience? Shouldn't you want to be inclusive of everybody? Like, obviously, younger people are going to be more drawn to your show, and that's what advertisers want. Blah blah blah. But you still should want to have the older fan base because they spend money too, and they're pretty much the lifers. Those are the ones that are pretty much going to be around. Because if you're like in your 50s, 40s, 50s, and you're still watching wrestling, that pretty much means you're a lifelong fan. That 18 to 34 demographic that's watching now, it might be a fad to them. They might 2-3 years down the road not be as into it.
Yes, you want everybody you can to watch, but that's the problem when you really are pandering to one demographic. You're only going to bring up that demographic, and that's all you're going to think about. So that's what happens. You say stupid shit like that, and you offend half of the other demographic that's still watching your show. That's over. Yeah, that's over 49. And you know what? You're right. Those are the ones that are spending the money. Those are the ones with the kids that are watching the show, that are living in their parents' basement, eating Cheetos, reeking of Mountain Dew. Thank you, Smark.
You're welcome.
I wasn't going to steal your line without giving you credit.
Ain't no worries.
But who do you think's paying for that shit?
Right.
So there's that, and you know what? And even that, there's grandparents that are the kid wants that. Okay, I'll buy it. I know he loves it. I watch it with him. Me and my grandkid watch it. It's great. Oh, the AEW. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I just think that's like some ignorant ass shit to say. But yeah, it's AEW, so what can you expect? I guess going forward though, I'm very highly intrigued by what those ratings are going to be next Saturday. Unopposed. Can they get 1 million?
Unopposed, not on a Saturday. I don't see it on a Saturday. I see it on maybe one of those 2 Thursdays that are coming up, but on a Saturday, I don't see it coming up on a Saturday. I actually think their ratings might be pretty shitty for this show. I think they're going to hover in the low 700s for the Saturday show. Maybe even touch that 680 mark. 680, 690 mark. Maybe below 700. It's just not going to. Dude, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. People don't stay home on Saturdays. Not in the 18 to 49 demographic you're going for. They don't.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on what people have going on in their areas. You know what's open. I mean, because that's the one thing that we got to take into consideration still. I mean, obviously, there are things open. You can go places, but it's still limited. So I guess it depends on what people have option wise.
Well, I mean,
wherever they're situated in the world.
I don't know, Anthony. Maybe you're right. Maybe everyone's having AEW parties and a few people over with masks on. I don't know. Maybe that's happening. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say they're going to parties. They're going out. 18 to 49 demographic, find shit to do on a Saturday night. They're not fucking staying home, especially the 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
No way they're fucking staying home on a Saturday night to watch the wrestling. Sorry, they're just not.
Kids is fucking
DVR, bitch. Torrent, motherfucker. They'll find other ways to watch it than to stay home on a Saturday night and watch it. So I don't know if you guys want to kind of write that down. That's what I say. I say they're either right at that low 7 or below mark.
All right, let's do a real quick prediction ratings wise. What's your final number, Box?
697,000 AEW Saturday night.
Yeah, just because they've been on a roll, I'll say they'll hover around between like 745, 750, 750,000.
Hold on. I'm going to put this motherfucker in my phone. Hold on. I'm going to my notes. New note. Okay.
What about you, Smart?
I said 697,000, right?
Yep, and you can put me down for 750.
Hold on. Go ahead, Smart.
You know what I will say about that is I do think that their lead-in is the NBA game. I don't know which game it's going to be. Because I looked at the schedule, but I fuck be damned if I can remember. But they're going to they're coming on after an NBA game.
Mm-hmm.
So if whatever's in that first segment is really hot, they could probably do a good number. And I think that they're aware of that. I will go 713.
I got it. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm at 697. Anthony 750, Smart at 713, going with the unlucky 13 in his number. All right, there we go. We will find out. That's going to be that's going to be a little while before we talk about that again. Hopefully, I remember it's on my phone. But I don't know.
Do you think it's a bigger deal if they do it on Saturday and they still beat AEW in ratings or NXT in ratings rather?
No. Because they're unopposed. I will tell you what I'm actually more curious to see for both of you guys. NXT's ratings unopposed.
Yeah, that's going to be, once again, this is going to put our theory to the test about what both shows have, even though it is kind of unfair because one is on a weeknight and one is on a weekend. Mm-hmm. And it's not like the old days where WCW Saturday night, 6:05,
Right.
So even back then, I'm sure people, you had VCRs and stuff, but people would make time for it, but nowadays people have so many fucking options as far as just going out the house that wrestling isn't destination programming anymore. But as far as NXT,
do we want to do NXT too? Because NXT,
that'll be interesting.
That's telltale. That's telltale right there. If NXT still hovers in that low 6 mark, that's sad. That's telltale. If they bump, which I would assume they would, I think they might be.
I
in
mean,
that
the thing
8
is,
to 9
they're
mark.
automatically going to get a bump just because there's no competition, and they become used to watching wrestling on Wednesdays. The question is going to be how significant is the bump? Because the rating this week was what, 619?
Yeah.
If they can't at least, I figure like if they can't at least get up if they can't get at least like 800,000 views, 850,000 views unopposed, then that's a problem.
All right, so which one, 8 or 850?
I'm going to go 850 unopposed.
850. Anthony. I'll just put Ant. All right. AER, NXT. They should break 9s, guys. If you think about it, if you think of what AEW's been doing and they're not on, they should break 9s. They really should. I'm going to say 915.
Okay.
Smart?
I am just for the sheer factor of if I'm right, I'm going to be able to have a lot of fun laughing at this. I'm going to predict that they actually go down in rating.
Ooh,
just for like just because it just seems like some shit that's going to happen to them. Like it's always a downward spiral for them for the last like couple of months. I'll go 605.
Ooh.
605.
But see, that's the thing is they really kind of dropped the ball because unless I'm not aware of something, I mean that's never happened, as Antox would agree with. I don't think they've really announced that many matches. They announced the Velve-Teen and Balor, and that's about it. Like I don't know if they really announced any other matches. If they did, not high profile ones.
Oh, I'm sorry, they did. It was I think they're doing a 6-man with I think it's Breezango and
Swerve Scott, yeah.
Yeah, Swerve against the Lucha faction. I'm sorry, I forgot the name.
Wait a minute, did you just say Breezango?
Yeah.
Oh, I
mean, not to be a total dick, but I did say high-profile matches.
Yeah, I might have to lower my number.
It hurts
Okay.
to say it. I like Scott and I like Escobar, but I don't really see that being like a significant because they're running unopposed. It seems like it would be the perfect opportunity to put some shit on there that's going to make people that are, even if they're just hardcore AEW fans that don't watch NXT, or just watch something on Wednesday. Like it feels like that would be the opportunity to put dope shit on there.
Well, they are doing the Adam Cole Pat McAfee face-off.
Oh.
I feel like that's going to be the focal point because that's basically what they spotlighted the fuck out of that on this show.
Oh, and by the way, who's the older guy in the Undisputed with the mustache? That's Bobby Fish, right?
Yeah, Bobby Fish. Yeah, he was. Look, I'm sorry.
No,
they did a deal where the Undisputed guys ran in on a Killian Dane and Drake Maverick match, and they beat the fuck out of them to send a message to Pat McAfee. You're in our world now. Blah blah blah. And at one point, they do the big stare into the camera at the end of the promo, and my God. Do some fucking hair care for men or something, because he was looking like the old ass uncle, like still trying to prove he could hang.
He looked like Roderick Strong's dad showed up to fucking take care of some shit for them. He's just. I'm like, dude, something's not right here.
Clearly, he's the oldest one in the bunch. You think?
Yeah, clearly, absolutely, clearly. But all right, just to kind of roll a little bit here. Speaking of AEW, it looks like they've gotten rid of a few people. According to the 434, Jimmy Havoc, T-Hawk, B. Priestley, and Sadie Gibbs have reportedly been released from AEW. Haven't got much confirmation on this, to be honest with you. But they are reporting it. They did bring it up. Sadie Gibbs did actually put out a tweet thanking AEW and Tony Khan, so she seems like she is legit as released. Jimmy Havoc, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that had to be done. T-Hawk, I don't know. B. Priestley, that's not a smart move. She was one of the better ones they had there. But they're starting to release some people, guys.
I wonder.
Where's all the how do you release people during the pandemic people? Where are they? Where did they go?
That's fair.
Where'd they go? Where are they?
Same. As I'll get to later, people need to keep the same energy. Like, I don't mind people calling out WWE for shit because 10 times out of 10 it's well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can't continue to give AEW passes. Oh, they're a new company. Oh, they're still no. You can't rake one company over the coals and then make allowances and make excuses or continue to push the goalposts for another company. That's my only gripe with a lot of these AEW fans, these diehards. They'll basically make every excuse in the book of, well, Tony Khan's just trying to give us some time, and then all of a sudden release. Well, at last check, we're still in a pandemic. Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
And you talk about B. Priestley. Yeah, she was one of the better women that they had under contract. But I guarantee you, she's not getting signed by WWE no time soon.
No,
like none of these people are. I mean, Jimmy Havoc, I would hope not.
Oh, please, good God!
Havoc and Velve-Teen Dream, the new NXT tag team.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! Jimmy Havoc should be signing an unemployment fucking contract. But fuck him.
He's just not very, even without the allegations. I just never thought he was very good.
By the way, not allegations. He admitted to half of that. So please, don't even say allegations. No. We could listen. Allegedly covers a lot of things. Not in that case. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Not in that case.
That's more than fair. He basically admitted to being a fucking creep.
Yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. But. All right, so what else? Are we moving on? I've got a couple things left, and then we can get into some different. I still have that Sammy Guevara thing that we talked about Wednesday, which we'll kind of let you know, remind you what we talked about. I do have a quick AEW trademark that they just recently filed, guys.
What's this one?
Stadium Stampede.
Interesting.
After that little stadium match they had, if you guys remember. Doesn't surprise me that they did something like that. I think they're going to try to do something like that again, and they can. Don't forget Tony Khan. His father owns the Jaguars. They can do some pretty cool stuff in stadiums, and they did. They went ahead and trademarked Stadium Stampede. That was actually back a couple weeks ago. That was actually Thursday, August 6th. They put in for that name. And I guess we'll see what happens there. But they want it for an possible ongoing television show and wrestling entertainment services, namely the production and nature of organization of exhibitions, performances. So this could not only be a match name or a pay-per-view name, this could be its own show.
No, I look at it like this. Okay, that's cool, but just focus on Dynamite and just see, build that brand up first. Because I just feel like sometimes, I don't know how often you guys watch Dark, but it just feels like it seems like they're already doing a little bit too much. They're I'm sorry, not doing too much. They're expecting fans to follow all of this shit. Because apparently there's so much shit going on, like on Being the Elite and the Dark, on the Dark show that kind of ties together a lot of the storylines. So sometimes when things will pop up on Dynamite, I'm like, where did that come from? Well, if you watch Being the Elite in the Dark, it all makes sense. No, fuck that. I should be able to watch the main show and get the crux of what they're trying to get. Tell me. You shouldn't have to watch 18 other shows to get the point of one storyline.
Right.
So hopefully that's a ways down the line. Another show, because we already cover enough wrestling as is on television.
Yeah, last thing we need is another show named Stadium Stampedes. Smark, what do you think about Stadium Stampede?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like you said, it feels nice when they have those kind of shows, every once in a while to kind of break up the monotony. Like they had, did they call it Bash at the Beach? Like the one that they did in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think that was just a show name. They used the Bash at the Beach name for like an episode of Dynamite.
Right.
But they would, before the whole pandemic thing happened, they would do like a little bit of a theme night every so often, and it works because it just makes it feel like, even if it is just completely cosmetic, it makes it feel like it's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does, and I like it. I don't know. We'll see. And you know what? If they use it for just a every now and then name, that's great. I think they should keep with that. It seems like they're trying to stick with that, only a certain amount of pay-per-views a year, 4 or 5. I like that. I like it. I think they should stick with that. That'll again set them apart from everybody else. But if they have these special shows under different names for Dynamite, that's even better. I got no issues with that at all. Not one issue with it at all. If they have these special matches, special names, special gimmicks, fuck yeah. That's how it should be done.
No, all you got to do, in my opinion, if you want to separate yourself, 4 shows a year, 4 big shows a year, 1 per quarter. And every so often you do a Dynamite, like an old school Clash of the Champions special, where you'll just do like marquee matches. Maybe you'll have a cage match. Maybe you'll have like a fucking you make it a stampede night or something like that, a football theme, whatever the case may be. Every so often, and you can those special Dynamite shows can kind of fill in for where a pay-per-view would have been.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So that's all I got for AEW, but I did want to bring up this Booker T story, guys.
Oh, real quick, we forgot the big news
we did
coming out of AEW. Yes.
Oh, which is
Jericho banning Jim Cornette from ever watching. Which is, I mean, obviously he's trolling, but I feel like the biggest crime of the Stampede match is the fact that it apparently has driven a wedge between 2 guys that were once friends. I mean, Cornette fucking was the first promoter to book Jericho in the States, book Chris Jericho and Lance Storm in the States, and now apparently they can't get along because Corny he makes a living off of bashing AEW. I mean, clearly Jericho's trolling the guy, but I'm like, I mean, this is where we're at. I mean, he makes money off of bashing you. Get over it.
I could see Corny and Jericho still being very good friends off everywhere, off camera, off social media. I could still see them being cordial to each other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho really didn't give a flying fuck. Like, at this point, he should be beyond. Like, I think it might have just been a little bit kind of tongue in cheek, seemingly.
And
if it wasn't, that's the disappointing part, because like he should be so far beyond fucking anything that like Jim Cornette has to say. It's like motherfucker's got his own cruise, his own alcohol. He's making money hand over fist at this point.
Yeah, I think Jericho's not really caring what Cornette has to say. And I think at this point he's just like, that's Jim. I know him. I've known him a very long time. And I think at this point he's just like, oh, yeah, I got something here. This is funny. So, yeah, I'm not taking that one obviously not taking that one too seriously. Jericho seemed like he was joking anyway. But this Booker T thing, he didn't seem like he was joking. Talking a little bit about Dixie Carter on his podcast.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
Well, you posted it.
Yes.
Booker T's podcast started talking a little bit about Dixie Carter and how she was hanging out with the boys. I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's a lot to read, and I've had a few drinks. But I will give you the gist of it. Basically, he's saying, and I'll actually give you a little quote, talking about Dixie hanging out with the boys, drinking, and having some fun. And he says, so I don't know what Dixie was doing, but she seemed like she was living out her MILF dream. I'm serious, man. Dixie was getting busy. Ain't got to say what she was doing. Dixie was definitely, how they used to say back in the day, hot to trot. So I don't know, man. Now, I'm sure her husband is ecstatic that Booker T is putting this information out. I'm sure he's just been like, "Oh, baby, I love you even more now."
We just transitioned from Jim Cornette to this story. That was unintentionally brilliant.
It was, wasn't it?
And you know the funny thing is, Bob, we might have to play a little bit of it. I haven't listened to it myself, but apparently Cornette has responded to Booker T's accusations against Dixie Carter and being hot to trot.
What's wrong with my fucking?
Oh, please go to Messenger. I'll pull it back up here.
Yeah, I just sent it. But
I see it.
Kind of like to kind of get to the meat and potatoes of this little debate here. I'm sorry, this little story here. Does anybody think that Dixie? I mean, I tend to believe it just because I know the Carters have a lot of money and the oil business and all that, but that money is only so long, and you got to keep people happy somehow. You know, you got Scott Steiner on the roster. You got Kevin Nash, who's a charming motherfucker when he wants to be. So I'm just saying, Hogan, you know, we've seen Hogan on tape, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a little piece of the action too, brother.
Flair was single back then.
Yeah.
But I, from what, if you read the rest of this, he's talking about some of the younger guys. Seriously, this is 14 minutes, by the way.
We obviously don't have to play the whole 14 minutes.
No, I'll play a little bit. Let's see what happens here. Let's go.
Men, let me read both of these questions, or at least let me read two of these questions. This one was sent in
we can fast forward
on Twitter using the hashtag corny drive-through. And it's from Southpaw Radio. Excuse me, Southpaws Radio. What are your thoughts about Booker T's recent comments about Dixie Carter having parties with the boys and, quote, living her MILF dream? Does this give credibility to similar comments Scott Hall made a few years ago on Shoot Interviews? And then another question sent to cornydrivethrough@gmail.com from Jason from Toledo.
Okay, real quick. Scott Hall, if she was putting it out there, you know Scott Hall was one of them that jumped in there. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, let's... Hey, yo, exactly.
I'm a longtime listener and cult member. I was listening to the Booker T podcast. Booker stated that Dixie Carter was a MILF, and she was dipping her pen in the company ink. I was wondering if Jim knew anything about this.
Wait a minute now. Wouldn't Dixie be the ink well instead of the pen?
I was wondering if Jim knew anything about this. Was Dixie known to sleep with talent? Was she a party girl? I'm curious if these accusations are true.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know what Scott Hall said, and Scott Hall would have... the double-edged sword about Scott Hall is he'd have more insight into this than most folks because of his friendship with Kevin Nash and other people who had been at the top of the TNA organization, on top of the TNA organization, or on top of whatever in TNA.
Company Inc.
The Company Inc. But also, you know, it goes back to, can you always believe everything? The words that are coming out of Scott Hall's mouth. I myself, as Dennis Condrey, I will paraphrase what he once said. I never saw a penis and vagina merge together. However, what I've talked about is that Dixie was just so impressed about being an executive and about having this wrestling company and about having this talent. And you would invariably see when you came back to the DoubleTree across from Universal Studios where we taped the fiascos, you'd come back to the DoubleTree as you're walking to the elevators to go to your room or whatever. In the bar, restaurant, in the lobby, you would invariably see Dixie surrounded by a number of the people that loved to sit there and pour her another glass of wine and tell her how great she was. And Nash was there plenty, and there was a whole, and that was the only time Russo wasn't sucking up, because Russo's such a fucking puss, he won't even go in a bar. And he's probably one of those, like the fucking idiot vice president we got that doesn't go anywhere where there's females around unless his wife accompanies him. But that was time for the boys to take over, and they're all sitting around her, telling her how great she is, and pouring her another glass of wine, and putting her over. And you could tell she appreciated all of that attention. So I'm not saying that there was or wasn't anything inappropriate sexually going on, but it was definitely who the fuck is going to, and a lot of it showed in who was then featured in this company or things that were done. Who was going to go and put this douchebag over as something special?
All right. Oh, we've played over 3 minutes. I think we can stop it there. Vague. He's being vague here. He doesn't want to say she was. He doesn't want to say she wasn't. But he's seen more. But if you listen, he's seen more evidence she might have been than she might not have been. Are you guys getting the same vibe there?
No, I've already said my piece. I definitely think something was going down at a certain point. Like I said, young guy, old guy, it doesn't make a difference. She was fucking somebody.
Hey, AJ. She had to be fucking AJ. I mean, they did a whole storyline together where AJ was fucking her. I actually don't believe that. I think AJ is actually the kind of... I don't think AJ would cheat on his wife. To be 100% honest with you. He seems like that kind of guy. Yeah. Once again, I'm sure her husband and her had a great week this week. When did that come out? The 11th? Which would have been...
Tuesday?
Tuesday. I'm sure they're going to just be banging all weekend. After hearing this, her husband's probably really happy with her. But why bring this up, man? Seriously.
Well, because, people, I don't know, people have axes to grind. Not even axes to grind, but TNA's like that. It's fun to beat up on. It's like that redheaded stepchild of pro wrestling. You don't want to talk shit on WWE, but you have a podcast where people want good stories, you want good content. Well, I was in TNA for a bunch of years. Let me talk about TNA. I mean, that's the thing, though. With Booker, I don't know how it came up, because I don't really listen to Booker T's podcast regularly. I listen to sound bites of it. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just don't listen to it on a regular basis. But my gut tells me that he leans more towards the bashing of the TNA side of things, since he's still under contract to WWE, so he's going to toe the company line with that. His bread is still being buttered over there, so it's not like he's going to say, "Yeah, Raw sucked this week, and here's why." Right. You know what I mean? Like, people got to put your thinking caps on. But it's still a podcast. People still look for entertainment. You still need content, so you're going to bring up easy targets. Dixie Carter, TNA, people that don't have any authority over you any longer are easy targets. But
to blatantly say that she's cheating on her husband, it's kind of fucked up. On the air.
Did you expect class in the wrestling business?
Well, you're right. I'm sorry. I forgot. Okay. My whole point is invalid, Anthony.
But I will say, though, like that was pretty diplomatic of Cornette, because he's hasn't been too kind over the years to Dixie Carter in a lot of ways, and he's literally taken every opportunity to bash her. Well, so for him to talk so kind of like, I'm not saying she was or wasn't being inappropriate, but yeah.
Well, Anthony, she might get into the wrestling business again, and Cornette might need a job. Just might happen. But
so Mark, what do you think about all this stuff?
Please.
Well, full disclosure, I had seen that you posted something, but it wasn't working on my end. So when that was posted, so this is all kind of new to me, and I'm just like kind of just sitting here, and it seems surreal to me that Cornette's answering a question about cuckolding. I could not believe this. Also, I think he just kind of gave me a little bit of tips, a little bit of some game there. If it's really that easy to gas up rich women like that, just kind of go up there when they're drunk and just talk about how great they are.
Yeah,
I might have to take some notes.
Wine.
And up to the east side.
Bring wine, Smart. Bring wine.
Well, that's the thing.
Just reminding you.
I mean, I think the only thing is like now kind of you're forced to look back and think about like who was getting a big push that might not have deserved it. So like now is the time to do the detective work on that.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're looking at Chris Sabian. Chris Sabian.
No, number one. I think we can crack this case.
Now you watched Chris Sabian that night.
Right, you're right. Oh,
No,
yes,
we can crack this case real quick.
The negotiator. I see where you were going there, Smart.
Thank you.
Number one on my list.
Who?
And it was in later stages TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Magnus. Fucking Magnus. I didn't watch a whole lot of TNA, but this is around the time where I guess she was a heel on TV. She was all over that dude. Like I caught a couple episodes here and there where I guess like she was the manager of him or something. It was him and EC3. She was fawning all. Yeah, so definitely those two.
Oh, yes, EC3. And you said fucking Magnus. She probably was. So, all right, there's two. You're right. There's two. EC3. I mean, he went right back to that company.
I mean, and I'm not saying he didn't deserve the push. I'm just saying that if you look back, he had a fast ride. He was fast tracked to the main event. Like he literally came in beating like Sting and Kurt Angle. Next thing you know, he's the world champion. He's retiring motherfuckers. Like he got a lot really fast.
I'm gonna tell you what. I ain't gonna lie. If I was single and a wrestler back then, and Dixie was putting it out, I don't think I'd say no. Come on, guys.
I mean, yeah, she's not a bad looking woman.
I probably wouldn't say no.
Oh, yeah, I mean, shit. Like, I'm not denying that at all. Like, just in her own right, man. I could do worse. But just even the whole dynamic of being like, that's your boss. Like, fuck yeah, hey. I mean, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
I have always been of the mindset, even when it comes in, before anybody starts going, oh, well, that's hypocritical because a woman did that. Oh, no. Like, do what you need to do to get up to the top. Just don't expect respect.
Oh, yeah. Make that
totally
money.
would talk my way to the top if it was that situation, but I wouldn't have been like, I earned it.
No, and honestly,
goddamn right, I played my cards, motherfucker.
And I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but if any parts of this is true, where she was kind of like fucking people on the side, whatever, it kind of flies in the face. God help me. Of the whole reason that she took Jeff Jarrett off of TV and took him out of the company for a minute. Because if you remember, the whole reason Jeff Jarrett disappeared for a period of time, because, he had the deal going on with Karen Angle. Mm-hmm. I guess, like, Kurt and her were having problems, and Jarrett, being who he fucking was, he snaked his way into that situation. Probably the best angle he's ever worked in his goddamn life. And she basically went to him, he denied it, and then all of a sudden, Jeff, I can't work with you anymore. I'm going to send you home, darling, for a little while, and you're going to think about what you did. And meanwhile, she's over here getting fucking her, being the fucking inkwell, getting all kinds of pins dipped in and out. So, I mean, that part of it, as much as I like the shit on Jared, if any parts of this story is true, that was hypocritical on her part. If she had her own shit going on the side, looking at this dude saying, what are you doing that fucking co-mingling with another man's wife like that?
Yeah, and by the way, that video that Anthony sent me, search that out on Jim Cornette because the picture is hilarious. The inkwell, Scott Hall, the bar, the drinks. It just check it out. Not keen on the Scott Hall sitting there with a drink in his hand, but anyway. It's just a picture, and it's a cartoon, so let's not fucking dwell on that. I got this audio. I'm good on that, guys. I mean, obviously Dixie was kind of a whore.
All right, now plug time.
I'm just trying to put a bow on it. I think that puts a bow on it right there, don't you? I got this Sammy Guevara audio here. Now, Smart, do you hear the guy through the whole thing, or?
You sure do. I mean, there's a little bit of visual element to it, but you can definitely parse together what's going on. I appreciate it on its own as just audio.
All right, I just wanted to make sure before I played it. I haven't heard it yet because you just sent it to me. Let's see how it goes here.
We're going to take a break here, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us. Picture in picture. You're going to like this.
Or maybe not. Or maybe not. What's wrong? Can't get me, the sign says. Can't get me, ...
Yeah, he's got his cue cards with him. He's
got his cue cards. I'm gonna help you out. Out of your head? Question mark. All right, he's still going here. There you go.
Should be coming up now.
Next one coming up. Oh well. Period. Another one. You need to relax.
15 seconds.
It's going through him
He's flying through him now. Flying through him. 15 seconds. Flying through him.
Right there, baby. Now they brought it
Learning.
He's trying. He takes the chair. He picks up the chair. He's trying.
God bless him. Box, watch this to the end because he just walks off so defeated.
Oh, you hear the guy go, keep vamping. Keep vamping.
You want to get him? I did. Sorry, buddy. There we go.
Sorry, buddy.
30 seconds.
Because again, he just looks at it and goes, you said I had 15 seconds. The guy's, sorry, buddy.
You know what, man?
15 seconds now for real.
Jesus Christ. This is a professional company, by the way, folks.
You know what? I got to give Sammy credit, man.
Yeah, no, totally. I would have done far worse in that situation. I'm not saying I would have done better, but it's just funny to see it. The sheer, like, oh, fuck, we're on live TV, and I hadn't accounted for this.
I got to give Sammy a little credit there, man. He's like, what the fuck, man? And the guy's like, sorry, buddy. And he's like, keep vamping, keep vamping. And you know what? I think Sammy did all right. Yeah, you did see a look of fear in his face for about a half a second there. But he did what he had to do, man. You know, he didn't do so bad.
Yes, and to be fair, this was you had to be subscribed to AEW on Fight TV to even see this, so it's not like it was on TNT.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, like Antek said, it was picture in picture, so most people didn't really notice it. And I think if, for the majority of us, if we didn't hear the audio, we would have never known that that's what happened.
Yeah.
So it's like it's super obvious something is going wrong, but it's just kind of funny to hear.
Yeah, but Sammy, I mean, look, he didn't fucking push through like Rock or Austin would have, but you know, he saw the words hard way. He picked up the chair. You know, the chair opened him up. So he didn't do horrible. He was picking up the signs again, telling him he needs to relax. Then he ripped it up. Then he shook his head at the camera, at the fucking production guy, which you could tell he was looking at the production guy and not at the camera. So,
like, come on, man, help me out here, please.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, buddy. That's what got me. The fucking production dude, he was a dick for that. It's like he's trying to put the heat on Sammy. Like, hey, sorry, buddy.
In fairness, the production guy could have got the word from someone who told him 15 seconds. You got to remember that the production guy is actually lower than you think he is on the totem pole.
Yeah.
So he could have got the word.
It was nice. It was an awkward moment for him.
Yeah, he could have got the word after getting the word, and then he was like, "Oops, I misheard that," or someone told me something wrong. Someone might have said a minute and 15, which is probably what happened. Because if you think about it, when he said 15 seconds later, he said a minute.
Right.
So someone probably said a minute and 15, and the poor production guy heard 15. But not bad, not horrible. But again, on TNT, I didn't notice it, but I saw that segment, but I did not notice it. Hearing it though, definitely pretty cool to see. But all right, Anthony.
Yes, sir.
You feel like venting or something?
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
But I'm actually glad we got the happy news out of the way first.
Well, I'm going to look for something else to end on because I got a feeling we're going to not be happy. But let's go for it, man. The floor, of course, is yours, sir.
Yeah. And actually, I owe the credit to you. You kind of got the ball rolling because I didn't know about this story. You remember what town it was in? It was a little, first off, condolences are in order first.
I just know it was in North Carolina, and that's it. I had seen the story, but got you smart. That's the problem. Is what you just said. I hadn't seen this story, but please proceed, sir.
Yes, the young man that I'm talking about is Cannon Hintnat. Hope I'm not mispronouncing that name. So he's a little 5-year-old kid that got murdered by a black gentleman. Fucking asshole, not gentleman. What the fuck am I doing? Now, justice was swift in this situation because if I'm not mistaken, the guy was apprehended. He's currently in custody.
Well, he walked back to his house and went in and sat down. So yes, he was.
Yeah. So he's in custody. Point is, justice was served swiftly, and this is what has me irritated about the situation is.
Real quick, arrests were made swiftly. Justice has not been done yet.
Yes, arrests were swift.
Yeah, Jim, I probably shouldn't have corrected you there, but I seriously we don't know. This guy could fucking walk on the fucking technicality, and justice may not be done.
And he doesn't deserve to walk.
Exactly.
I want to qualify. I want to qualify
Absolutely.
this. I want to qualify this right off the bat. Right off the bat. I really don't want to make this a race issue.
No,
because a child was murdered.
Exactly.
So the guy should burn in hell. The guy should fucking be locked away. He should never see the light of day again. So I want to clarify that from the get go.
And I don't think
I'm not defending the gentleman that did this shit. Right. So I want to get that all on the tape. So don't even try to misconstrue what I'm about to say here. My issue with this whole entire situation is people once again are letting their politics get in the way of common sense and judgment here. They're using the senseless murder of this kid to try to discredit Black Lives Matter. They're trying to discredit George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor. They're trying to paint black people with the same broad strokes. Well, where's the justice for Cannon and little kid? No, if you're white and you catch black people giving you the side eye while you're out here protesting and pissing and moaning, rightfully so, about this kid, it's not because we don't want justice. It's just that we want you to have the same energy. Because for decades upon decades, black and brown folks been casually murdered to little to no fanfare whatsoever. You won't hear a peep. But when this happens, all of a sudden, we need to rally, and this was a child involved. What about the fucking little black kid that got murdered? Where's his justice? And like I said, again, I'm not trying to make this a race thing. It's just like, take a step back. If you're a Karen or if you're a Bob, take a step back and just, look how you come across. If you can look at what happened to George Floyd, if you can look at what happened to Breonna Taylor, who was just in her home sleeping, and we're going on 6 months, and people are still looking for some semblance of justice. There's been none. No arrest made, no nothing.
Right.
Her killers are still walking.
So far,
and I dare anybody to tell me that any part of that is right.
No. So far, just a fired cop. That's it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm seeing all of these memes, like I said, they're trying to, once again, make this a political issue. They're trying to make this, Black Lives Matter, and trying to paint black people with the same broad strokes. No, fuck you. Fuck you, and fuck off with that logic, that mindset.
Absolutely.
Please.
No.
And like I said, once again, what happened to that kid was a goddamn tragedy.
Oh my
All
God.
I'm saying is keep the same energy.
Yep.
Like seriously, come out with these memes and these protests when you see black people senselessly murdered unnecessarily, or where the situation could have been easily diffused.
Absolutely.
Like I said, that's it. I mean, justice. Like I said, surprisingly enough, I don't know if you guys know this, but black people want justice just like white people like justice. We don't condone violence against children, and we're not out here fucking with the killers. Kill a motherfucker. Nobody's fucking calling for the kid's head. Nobody was saying, you know what, we got to get a couple of these white folks now.
Actually, I did see a couple of posts like that today, but it was two. That's it.
And like I said,
you're going to get them, Anthony. In a world of 300 million, you're going to get them. You're going to get them. It's going to happen. Now, real quick, I 100% agree with everything you just said. Every fucking word. My issue is exactly what I said when I posted that story. And you just said it right when we started talking. You hadn't seen that story yet. I only saw that story on conservative sites. It didn't get to CNN. It didn't get to MSNBC, ABC, all those places. It didn't get to them until Tucker Carlson on Fox started shitting on them for not reporting it. And then suddenly, literally 10 minutes later, the story was up. Now, I'm not, saying anything, but I'm just saying my only issue, and I said it right in that post, why isn't this in the news? Why is the news not reporting on this? The disappropriation of news was my only issue, and that is my only issue. I don't know what anyone else's issue is. I can't speak on their issue. That alone was my only issue. I have nothing to say about the BLM or race, anything. To be honest with you, if this story just said 5-year-old murdered by neighbor, it would still be just as horrific as it is now. It's horrific no matter what you put. No matter what headline you put on that story, it's a horrific story. Race in it or race out of it, it's horrific. The problem, like I said, I had, is that you only found it on certain sites, which is pushing the narrative, which I said at the beginning of the show, that everyone's trying to push. Everyone's trying to use it to their narrative. This narrative says this narrative says that. We've got to stop this. The media has to stop putting race in every fucking story. They just need to report the news as it is. And if we're going for equality, then we all need to just say, like I just said, man walked across the street, killed 5-year-old. 5-year-old killed by neighbor. That's all we have to say. We don't have to do this race thing. It doesn't have to be about that. It's horrific no matter how you fucking put it, and it doesn't need to have a race tied to it. That is my only issue. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Smart, what you got?
I agree with that point. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my mic a little bit there, make it a little bit better.
No, you're good.
I agree with that point. And that's the thing, though. That's the problem across the board with at least televised media, and then even like websites itself, they have ad space and whatnot. The problem is that there's, news media is commercialized. They make money off of sponsors just like any other TV show, just like any other website. So, they're selling ads, and when you start getting into, news being a business, news making money, ad revenue, sponsors, that kind of whole thing, you start to create kind of a narrative. You start to kind of create, pick and choose, cherry pick based on the things that are going to appease your sponsors and that are going to fit a narrative and that are going to make you profit, essentially. So, that's the big thing. And like you said, I don't think, race did not really seem to play a factor in what happened. So unless the color of the people are specifically, it's relevant to the story, then there's really no need to report it in such ways, I don't think. Because there's a lot of people that will tell a story, and I'll hear them and I'll listen to them. They'll be telling a story, and they'll be like, so, there was a black guy there, and he was eating potato chips, and then he asked me if I wanted a potato chip, and I said no. I said, okay, well, how does him being black have anything to do with, what's the story was about the potato chips? Why does him being black have anything to do with this shit? You know what I mean? Just as an example, like I said, just kind of wrap it up, kind of, is I agree with that there is a lot of, from every side, from every angle, regardless of where you stand, there's a lot of forcing narratives and pushing agendas, not unlike how, anytime there's a shooting, the people that died is unimportant. It becomes pro-gun, anti-gun. You just immediately fucking step right on over their corpses so you can keep having your argument and pushing your stance. And that's sad. That's sad in all walks of life and in all events like that, where it just becomes reduced to, I have this stance, so I need to take this stance, and I'm not going to look at any of the facts or details or consider anything else other than how I should lean based on my previously established standing.
Well said.
Thank you.
All right. So what else? I forgot to look to see if we fucking got anything else happier to end on. I didn't even look in the news.
Oh, while you're looking, since we've had some fun the past few weeks talking about like breakfast cereal and fucking cartoons, I do have a little bit of a random topic to kind of like lighten the mood.
Ooh.
It's the rise and fall of the look of McDonald's. Now, for those of us old enough to remember, there was a point in time, and I posted about this on my Facebook page a few days ago. Remember back in the day when McDonald's was all about bright colors? They had, depending on what McDonald's you went to, you had Kids Place, you had the fucking ball pit. Now, fucking, it was like it was like a full of life, like that young kid that had his whole life ahead of it. Now, fucking McDonald's looks like a dentist's office. It looks like a middle-aged adult who's just like, what the fuck happened to my body? It just looks like a very bleak and depressing place. No color, no nothing. Some of these new McDonald's that they got going on.
You know, they're not the only one. Taco Bell kind of did the same thing. Around
looks like
here,
Office Space now. It doesn't look very inviting at all.
Yeah, around here, Taco Bell's all have been renewed too, and they're kind of the same thing. They kind of got drearier and darker. But yeah, man, I saw that picture, and you're right. Now, we do still have one McDonald's here that is built like a Happy Meal. We do. And that one has stayed, and they haven't touched it. So thank God they haven't. But right off the highway, right on my way to work, I see it. It's off of Highway 635. And it literally is built, and, you know, it looks like a Happy Meal. That's the only one they haven't touched. Thank God. All the others around here, the one right up the street from me, they did the same thing. They made it dark and dreary. They took all the color out of it. And I mean, shit, right now you can't even, you can walk in, but the playground is closed. And right now, everything is kind of dreary. I don't care what color it is, to be honest with you. Everything right now is dark and dreary and just looks weird, you know, with all this shit going on. So, but yeah, luckily we still have that one McDonald's they haven't fucking touched yet. Which brings up McDowell's. We need a McDowell's now, don't we? Man, if Samuel Jackson come in and rob that motherfucker, I'd be happy.
I'm trying to look it up to find what you're talking about. Like, for those initiated, just kind of a little bit of like, it looks like a Happy Meal.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I know the road. Let me get down to this computer here.
Oh, thank you, Reeves.
Like the colors, are we talking like the color scheme or just kind of?
No, it
looks like a Happy Meal.
Like when you're driving by, it looks like a Happy Meal. The color scheme, the building, it's got the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole, anybody that knows what I'm talking about, old school McDonald's was literally in the, like Boxman just said, in the shape of a Happy Meal. That triangular shape, red roof. Even as a kid, you know, I could take a leave right on McDonald's because that clown always was fucking creepy as shit to me. But beside that, McDonald's was always like a fun place, especially the fucking ball pit, man. That was a blast as a kid. I actually had a birthday party there one year.
Yeah, here it is, Mark. I got it right here. Here, let me copy the link address. I'll put it in the chat room. Give me a second here, so you guys can all take a little peeky peek at it. Let me get in the chat room. 1 second. Once again, this is why you guys should join the chat room, mixer.com/dirtsheetdudes. Here we go. I'm pasting it now. It's a long link, but it should work.
Let me take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I just saw that.
Well, it's it's actually to a website, but you can see the pictures of the McDonald's right there. And that's it. It's right there off of, like I said, I follow it, Montfort. That's what it is, Montfort and LBJ. Lyndon B. Johnson Freeway. But yeah, it actually is, like I said, it looks like a Happy Meal.
Yeah, I've never encountered like a McDonald's like that in my life, honestly. I mean, I know there's a little bit of like an age gap and everything, but I'm just saying from my perspective, I've been to a couple of McDonald's where it's like, you know, the roof will be red or like the walls will be red or whatever. But like specifically thematically like this, I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah. It's the only one I've ever seen. You know what? It's not. I saw one similar to it in Orlando when you're on, you know, that Disney Epcot area property. There's one in Orlando like that too. So I've seen relative to that, but this is the only one they didn't touch. They left it the way it was, and it kind of a nice bright thing to see on your way to work in the mornings. I see it every morning. Yeah.
To that, very much so. Like, do you guys remember like the old Arby's where they'd have like sign outside with like a giant fucking cowboy hat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those are gone now.
Yeah. I got an Arby's up the street, and it's just. I mean, they even painted the brick white. It just looks awful. It's like, I still go. I love the Reuben sandwich there. It's fucking delicious, but but
I guess it was sad. I guess the McDonald's thing was just sad just because that was pretty much their hallmark. I know you had a couple Burger Kings.
Mm-hmm.
They might have had a little section for the kids to play around and goof around in. But for the most part, McDonald's, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, was like the only fast food chain that had like a dedicated kids place, a play area for the kids.
Yeah.
Remember like those super McDonald's?
Mm.
They had like 2 or 3 levels to them.
Yeah, they were the
big slide. Those were badass back in the day.
McDonald's was I believe they were the first to have places like that. Now, I mean, around me, I don't know about you guys, but around me, every fast food. I mean, the Wendy's here has a little play area. The McDonald's, the Burger King, every place has.
So, I guess we're memorializing the McDonald's like plays. I have a little bit of a story about that.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this year, I think it was. It might have been the very end of 2019, or maybe just the beginning of 2020. But I had gone with my younger cousin. He was about 10 or 11 at the time. But we had gone to McDonald's. And there was this guy there with a kid. Like, he was clearly, based on his age and the age of the kid, he was clearly a grandpa. And, like, the guy has a tray, and he's trying to balance the tray, and, like, everything falls. So, like, soda spills, you know, the bag spills. He picks up the bag. He leaves this fucking soda mess on the floor, leaves the cup on the floor, the lid on the floor. It's scattered everywhere. Big fucking mess. Okay, I get you can't mop anything up, but you can pick up and throw the cup away. But he doesn't. He just goes ahead, walks on, puts the stuff on the table, sits there, and doesn't act like there's no problem in the world. So, for whatever reason, this just really pissed me off, and I kept looking at him, and the more I would look at him, the angrier I'd get. So I got up from the table, grabbed the cup, and like the play place has a door. You open the door and you walk into the play place. So it's sectioned off. So I grabbed the door, I opened the door with the cup in my hand and just throw it in the direction of his table and close the door. And like, didn't say anything to me about it, but I just, for some reason, it just really fucking bothered me that this guy just had no fucking care for the people that had to clean up after him.
There's a lot of people like that, dude.
Real quick, though, in addition to that, Anthony, you had mentioned that you had your birthday at a play place like that before. I want to, I'm going to ask both of you guys just in general, since we're talking about more lighthearted things. Were either of you guys kind of big on, like, having birthdays at, like, restaurants or, like, amusement parks or anything like that, like those kind of themed birthday parties? Because I was never really into that when I was a kid.
I've never had one.
Not really. Like the whole, when I did the McDonald's thing, I'm too young. I was too young to really kind of like appreciate it. I might have been like maybe like 4 or 5, and it was like a small little thing, family, some friends, and I don't really remember particularly like caring one way or the other.
Right.
I was, you know, my big thing was as long as I got like a wrestling cake at one point, I was cool. I was good. Like I didn't, you know, I could take or leave a party. I normally would get some spending money, go buy what I wanted, and I was pretty much content with that. Like, but as far as like a big to do, I've never really been big on that myself. And especially the older I got, I became even less enthralled with it. Just because, as much shit as I talk on the show, I never really felt comfortable being like the center of anything. I never really felt comfortable being like the center of attention like that.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I didn't even go out for my birthday this year. I didn't care, and my birthday was just a few weeks ago. I didn't care. I've never had one of those not that I can remember. I might have when I was very, very young, but I can't remember having any parties at I mean, I would maybe go to a restaurant, just that's it, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never had
even just like amusement parks or some shit like that. You know, like I've never, and it doesn't seem like either you guys did either, but just like there were definitely some people where it was like a big to do, where it's like, oh, we're gonna go to the roller rink, or we're gonna go to, you know, the park or whatever. You know, we're gonna go bowling. I did go bowling with a group of friends. It wasn't my birthday; it was one of my friends' birthdays. That was cool, but you know, there was never really a big, like Anthony said, a big to do about big ballyhoo. When it came to that kind of thing, it was usually just, hey, you know, come over to the house and play video games or some shit.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny though. My kids, I mean, you know, we've had the bowling alley parties for my older one, you know, and the Chuck E. Cheese and all that shit, and you know, but he's getting sick of it too. Really, what we do now for my older one is all he wants to do is go out to my parents' house, the place in East Texas, and swim and do a barbecue and have a cake. That's all he wants to do. I'm good with that. We've, like I said, man, we've done the, you know, go here and go there and have the bouncy, you know. Oh well, we'll go to this place that does the they have bounce houses rooms.
Nah, I'm more about, to me, everybody's different, but for me, I'm more about the camaraderie. You know, get some friends together. Go out to hang out at the bar, have some drinks, maybe have like a little small dinner. That stuff is fine. But as far as like themed, especially the older you get, that shit just seems it's hokey to me. I'm sorry.
Dude,
I don't you know, like even with the milestone birthdays, I get it. It's a milestone. You know, you're 30, 40. But after a certain point, like I don't need to fucking celebrate that shit. Like I'm just, to me, I'm at that point you are now, Box. It's just another day for me.
I'm also at a point where I'm in a state where I'd rather hang out and drink with you guys, anyone here. I mean, it's just you guys, so you know. Hey, I'd rather hang out and drink. I mean, I basically just sat around and I had to wake up for a meeting the next fucking day. So basically, I sat around that night, drank with my wife, went to dinner. And that was it. Took me and my kids went out to a little restaurant on the corner, and then me and my wife came home, did a few shots, and I had to get up at fucking 5 a.m. for a goddamn meeting.
Right.
That was it. Yay! That was my birthday, and then I drank my ass off here on Wednesday night, which I was happy to do. Night after my birthday. I was happy to do that. That was more fun than my whole birthday, so. What can I say, man? Birthdays at my age, 45 years old, just kind of get, blah. You don't care anymore. Maybe I will. Who knows? But, what else y'all got, man?
Let me see. Oh, I don't know if we talked about this.
Probably not.
But Seth Rollins, it's been a while since he was quiet on things. I'm trying to see if I can find the exact article, but he basically commented on the whole eye for an eye match, and you know, it wouldn't be Seth Rollins if he didn't say something a little something suspect.
Oh, but just basically just deal with it, you fucks. Oh, go ahead, Em.
Yeah. Basically, he said, you know, something along the lines of like, you know, if we had a good little wrestling match, it wouldn't have got picked up by TMZ. WWE has always been more about moments than matches. I can't necessarily disagree with them on, because they've always been about moments. But where do you guys stand on that? You know, a lot of people were kind of obviously we're a few weeks removed from eye for an eye. But I can't say that I disagree with that take on it. I mean, the match itself was fantastic. But had they just been booked in a regular standard one-on-one match, wrestling fans would have been like, yeah, that was a hell of a match. But it wouldn't have got buzz. it wouldn't have got mainstream buzz. So where do you think the balance lies? Do you think that wrestling fans are just bitching the bitch here, or do you think that there's some merit to what he was saying? WWE has always been about moments more than matches, and
I agree with that. I do. They are about moments because moments get news coverage. Absolutely. The match itself wasn't bad. The stipulation was just odd. The stipulation was something, I will agree, we haven't seen it before. It was nothing we had seen before. So, and it was very, again, I'll use the word, vague. It was a very vague stipulation. How was this going to work? What were you guys going to do? And then the news people, though, did pick it up. Yeah, I will.
Which is I'm
right.
sorry, that's the funniest shit ever,
You're
bro.
right.
Like Rey Mysterio loses an eye, and these were legitimate news sites.
Yeah,
Rey Mysterio loses an eye in wrestling match.
Dude, legit
Jesus
news,
Christ.
sports news sites, ESPN reported it. I think CBS Sports reported it too. A lot of fucking news, real, legit news sites reported it as real news, which means to me they didn't watch, because if you saw what they used as an eye, that wasn't an eye. You know, it just wasn't. I mean, that could have been a fucking Super Bowl for all I know. But Seth definitely has a point. Yes, WWE loves moments. They love their name in the news. They love their name going all over the place. But you can still criticize the match, the storyline, the whole thing. It's still, I mean, yeah, you're allowed to. I don't know why everyone thinks that you're, like, people think that, oh, you're not allowed to criticize that. Yeah, we kind of are. No, yes, Weebs, I went for the 80s with the Super Bowl, I know. But you can still find them in fucking, in those little fucking coin machines. You can still find them, man.
And I'm looking for another one, because like I said, like, you know, Seth, once he gets rolling, he did another interview. This might have even been the same interview, where he basically, you'll love this one. Like outside of Becky and Charlotte, the other women on the roster aren't really up to snuff. He said, he said something along the lines of like, God bless Becky and Bayley. They're doing their best to kind of like keep things going. But he, I mean, you know, but he basically kind of shit on the women too.
Well, maybe he was expecting a blowjob that morning and Becky didn't deliver. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, that ties back into, look at the amount of television time those two got and compare, and look what it took for Sasha and Bayley to get the television time they're getting right now. Because like let's be honest, if Becky still around, not pregnant, Charlotte's still around doing her thing, it's debatable if they. I mean, look, obviously Sasha and Bayley would still be in the mix, but would they be as prominently featured? I don't think so. In terms of like promo time across all three shows, I don't think they'd be getting the same level of television time if Becky and Charlotte were still around.
No, now you said pregnant. I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Who's the next one? Charlotte or Lana that's pregnant?
Damn.
Timeline wise, it probably needs to be Charlotte, because her biological clock is ticking. Because what's the age of a woman? Like 35?
I don't know. I'm just thinking. I mean, you got Rusev talking about banging Lana in a tank, and I'm sorry, dude. Like that's level. A man's man right there. That's the level. Great. Like, now let me ask you: do you think it was before or after the match? Oh, I think before. Absolutely.
Do you think that's why he got out of the tank?
Could be.
The fucking...
like he was fucking He-Man? Yeah, I think so. And now every picture Charlotte and Andrade take, I mean, she looks like she's blowing them. I don't know, man. I think one of those two are going to end up being the next one that's pregnant and taking.
It would be hilarious to me though if it ended up being Shayna. It would just be hilarious. I mean, the dude, you can laugh if you want to, dude. She's still a woman. She still has the right equipment to reproduce.
But science, by the way, she's. Oh man, how do you say this?
40?
No, what?
I mean, that's the non-mean way to say it. She's 40.
Not even that, bro. Am I not going to get into specifics?
Well, let me just say, no. She hates penis. I don't know how else to say this. She hates penis.
I mean, you could still go through the process.
There is processes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't see Shayna as the type that wants to do that. Shayna doesn't strike me as the, I want to have a family and a child, and I don't see that. Now, Anthony, I agree, hilarious, absolutely.
and to Smart's point, I will say that the over 40 crowd, or I don't know what's in the water, but I've seen in my line of work, you're seeing women past that 40 mark that are still reproducing. High risk in a lot of situations just because of the age, but man, it does happen more than you think.
Hey man, all about them MILFs, man. You know.
That's right.
That's it. See, Booker T was right.
And, for some reason, I just ever since Anthony has said that, I can't help but just picture Shayna not so much having a kid, but just sitting on top of eggs like a bird, just defending a nest.
And let's be honest, she already does kind of have those childbearing hips.
Well, those aren't childbearing; those are. Anyway, let me not. That's the first time I think I've actually stopped saying what I was thinking. That's a great idea, isn't it? Anyway, on that note, guys, what else do we have? Or should we go ahead and wrap this son of a bitch up? We're closing in. We're definitely over 3 hours. Closing in almost 3.5 hours. What do y'all think?
I don't think did we cover it. Oh, I guess the last thing. I don't know if we ever really went any. Matter of fact, I don't think we covered it at all. Just real quick, what do you guys think about the Rock buying the XFL?
Oh, we covered that.
We did?
Yeah, last week we talked about that. Last Friday night.
No, actually, not really. Actually.
Did we? Oh, see, I'm not gonna lie. I had a few shots.
We were going to do it Wednesday, but then we got into stuff, and then we were going to do it Friday, but then the Marty thing took precedent over that.
All right, go ahead. I mean, I know we mentioned it. We talked about his wife a little bit being, a manager of many. Ex-wife, excuse me. His ex-wife is a manager of. Actually, she was his manager. That's how they got together. That was his manager. But she is a manager of Hollywood stars, sports stars. She's a very wealthy woman.
Which is why Rock was smart to say. Rock was a smart man to stay on her good side. I mean,
he did,
and that goes to show you, man. Rock is, like I said, universally liked. How many guys still have a semi decent relationship with their exes?
Very few. Like two people I know actually still have a good relationship with their exes, but not that. That's it. As far as him buying the XFL, definitely interesting. Interesting in the way that I could see him still giving Vince a little power of this company. You guys? Yeah, I think this might have been Vince going to him and saying, "Hey, Rock,
do me a favor."
Hey, Dwayne, it's Vince. How you doing, pal?
I wonder. But do you think there's a part of this that will feel salty as all fuck if The Rock is able to turn this into something where he couldn't after two chances?
Yes and no. Now, I to be fair to Vince, which I never thought I would say, this second time wasn't his fault. He didn't tank it. He didn't have horrible camera angles that people didn't want to watch. A pandemic hit.
Yeah. Because up until the pandemic, people were praising it.
Absolutely. Exactly. So I can't blame this one on him. But and I won't. I won't. It's ridiculous. Like I said, you got to be a little bit fair to Vince on this one. But The Rock buying it is interesting, very interesting. And again, it wasn't just The Rock; it was him, his ex-wife, and another investor. There were 3 investors. I forget the name of the company, Red Bird or Redwood or something like that. I forget it, but it's. I think he's going to still give Vince
a kickback.
Not a kickback. I still think he's going to give Vince a little power, maybe something to do with it. Something to do with it. I don't see why he wouldn't. This may be The Rock paying Vince back, in a way. Yeah. This may be payback. This may be the week after SummerSlam, Anthony. Payback.
Yeah, because I don't see Rock wrestling for him anymore. So this might be the next best thing. You know what this kind of reminds me of? You talk about paying Vince back. I don't know if this was back in the day, if it was a case of Rock paying Vince back, or because Rock was still under contract, so it was part of the deal to lease out the Rock name or whatever. But remember when Rock was just starting to get his feet wet in Hollywood, those first couple years, whether it was like the Scorpion King or the Rundown, if you paid attention to the credits, you would see executive producer Vince McMahon. I don't think Vince McMahon I guarantee you he didn't write a page of dialogue. Right. But it was just like he got a credit because obviously if you're credited on the making of a movie, you get some type of a kickback. You get paid for it. So I don't know whether that was a case of, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, or if it was more likely Rock was still under contract, so that was part of the deal. If you want to use this guy in his movie, I still own the rights to him, so you got to give me a little something in return.
Right. Now, Smart, you have been very quiet over there. You are a football fan, an NFL fan. Very, very interested. And it's kind of why I kind of rambled on and let Anthony and then went to you. Very interested to hear what you have to say about this, being a football fan, knowing a little more about the ins and outs than we do. Let's hear it, man.
More than anything, really, the kind of thing that really intrigued me is just the idea of right now. I mean, I understand you have to, operate within a timeline. You can't just wait for things like this, but to buy a sports franchise right now, or a sports league right now, is a very sort of bold investment in the future.
Right.
I think. Because right now, everybody is, the pro leagues are having a real hard time sort of navigating, these circumstances. There's Major League Baseball's had a really bear of a time. They've had a lot of cancellations because of COVID.
Roof.
That dog brought up a good point.
If only your dogs were snoring, I would think Shaheen was on the line. Go ahead. Oh, Smart, you good? No.
Well, I'm trying. They're going at each other.
I know, and you're making a great point. Do you remember? Keep going. Come on.
Breaks and the opportunities. But yeah, like I was saying, like the Major League Baseball, they have like one team who has played 5 games, and they've been playing a season now for I believe like 3 weeks or so. Like everybody else has about 15 or so games, and they played 5. So logistically, they have to play a lot of like doubleheaders or whatever to make up the time. That's not important. But anyways, everybody's trying to navigate these pitfalls. And like you said, the XFL, the second version of the XFL, it wasn't necessarily their fault why things happened the way they were happening. It was getting better. It did a lot better the second time around than the first time around. The main problem, more than anything, is they were lacking in star power when it came to quarterbacks. There was no notable quarterbacks. There was no real good quarterback play, which is always going to be a detriment. Like that's the face of the league for the NFL. Like you're going to need you're going to need good quarterbacks. You're going to need star value at the quarterback position. And that's what they were lacking the second time around. But I think is interesting about this is there are ways that you could do this to make this a successful venture. Having the rock behind it is one thing that's going to get people's interest, I think. But another thing, And I'm kind of surprised, as much as WWE fucking loves it, I'm surprised that there was no form of like reality show based around this. Based around the XFL, based around maybe one team or the league as a whole kind of rebuilding, and people struggling to make the roster, people struggling to get starting spots. Not unlike there's a series for the NFL called Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's an HBO series. It does good numbers from what I understand, but that's like the whole kind of crux of that is people struggling to make a football team and people getting cut and the kind of drama that comes from that. Like I feel like that more than anything, that would definitely get them into a position if they could using the connections that The Rock has to like make an XFL themed reality show. I think that's going to kind of put them in the stratosphere.
There could be. We don't know what was recorded.
Sure.
We have no clue.
That's another thing. Yeah. That's another thing too. Like you said, we don't know what's going on right now, and it's going to be interesting because XFL had deals in place with like ESPN, ABC, the whole Disney family of networks. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to maintain those deals, if they're going to get deals elsewhere. Like, there's definitely a need for sports right now, but I think this is definitely going to have to be a back burner kind of project, because it's going to be hard to reform all these teams and get everybody back together under these circumstances.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to see what happens with this. But it's definitely interesting. It's almost like keeping it in the family. You know what I mean? With the wrestling, you got The Rock, former wrestler. Vince owned the company. Now The Rock buys it with his former wife and whatever that fucking other company was. But it's very, there's like layers to it.
Sure.
And I almost can't wait to see what's in the middle of the onion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I hadn't even really considered it until you started bringing it up, though, the idea that he might be kind of doing it as a favor or be, helping Vince out a little bit. I think that's the most interesting thing, is what the dynamic of their relationship is. Well, because I wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to help him out a little bit, but also at the same time, I think he's gotten to the point now where he's not going to be chumped around. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not going. If he's doing business, he's going to be the one calling the shots. Like, anything Vince does, or any type of involvement that Vince might have, he's going to be secondary at the very least. And I don't know if Vince would want to play that way, and I don't know how. I just kind of going back and forth. I can kind of stretch this out all day, but just the idea of what is their dynamic. What is the power dynamic between those two at this point is interesting.
Which I think will be interesting to see over the next couple years. Which is really where I think we're going to see it, is over the next couple years. But I mean, Rock, former NFL player or college player. Sorry,
Miami Hurricanes.
I slipped. I said I corrected myself. Former college player from Miami. Football background, definitely.
Sure.
So I don't. And what's funny? His character in Ballers is what? An NFL owner, right? Football team owner.
Yes, I don't know about the later seasons, but it started off as, I think, as an agency.
Now I believe in the later seasons he's an owner. So just kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Use it for footage. You could build stories revolving around that. Mm-hmm. Like, you could use it as a platform to hype up the XFL, the hype Ballers, cross promotion, that whole deal. There's a lot of angles that you could take to this.
I am curious. I wonder, because WWE, I know they obviously, Rock owns the XFL. He just owns the company, though. You think he would have access to the footage of the games? Like, who owns the footage to the games? That's what I've kind of always been curious about that. Does WWE own that?
That should have been in the deal.
Yeah.
I would figure. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. No one's seen the fucking deal. No one's seen the papers. But usually when you buy a company, you buy all the assets. And part of the assets of XFL should have been the video footage.
Even the original version of it? With all of the WWF crossovers and Vince and Jim Ross?
I don't know. I don't know that. again, this was XFL owned by, what was it, Alpha?
Yeah.
Alpha Industry, Alpha, whatever it was, Alpha something. Alpha Entertainment. Thank you. Thank you. The other one was not. So there could be, he may not own the original footage. I will guarantee Vince owns that original footage almost. Almost guaranteed.
Because they had WWF all over it. And I figured they're not letting that go. They wouldn't let that footage go.
I would figure. Now, again, I don't know. I'm not sitting. I wasn't there. I don't know the fucking deal. I haven't seen the paperwork. I haven't seen the contract. But that's usually how it works. And again, Vince put this through the Alpha Entertainment. Thank you, Smart. Once again. So that should be how it works. But an asset buy should be for everything in the company. You should buy everything except the debt.
Right.
Asset buy means you buy everything except the debt of that company. So Vince probably has already paid that debt off. I wouldn't doubt it, since it's tax season. So, but I don't know, man. I definitely think there's something going on with that, and I think Vince will still be involved with that one way or the other, whether we know it or not. Will be up to The Rock. And the shareholders in that company. Yeah. Now, if that company, imagine years down the road, XFL going public, going up against WWE. Oh man, that's
what I mean. There's so many intangibles at play. This is going to be an interesting story to follow, because let's be honest. I mean, once upon a time, when The Rock first ventured off into Hollywood, I don't care what anybody says. It's real easy now to say, like, we're proud of The Rock and all of his success. But for a fact, there was a point in time where they were hoping he would fall flat on his face and have to come crawling back. Like, see, Rock, Hollywood, the real world is not going to treat you like we did. But they were hoping for, like, another Sable situation. Right. Or another China situation, where once they got from out of that WWE umbrella, they will fall flat on their face and then realize, oh shit, we fucked up, right. And then we would have to come. They would have to come crawling back. The Rock, funny thing happened. The Rock, whether XFL fails or succeeds, The Rock is going to be okay. He don't need It's been firmly established. He does not need WWE money no more. This man making fucking shit. He's like Schwarzenegger in the 80s.
No.
And he can write his own ticket.
Absolutely. And Smart, can I a quick question for you? If I'm not mistaken, $15 million is pretty goddamn cheap for a football organization, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I mean, absurdly cheap.
Okay.
I mean, it's an entirely football league. We're talking actual football teams like the NFL, obviously a huge difference, but we're talking $1 billion for an NFL team at this point, I'd imagine.
I mean, what would let's say the lowest ranking NFL team, what would you guess you could sell that franchise for? Just again, I'm not going to hold you to numbers, but what would you guess the lowest ranking team, which would, I don't know who that would even be?
Cleveland Browns.
Okay. All right. It's funny. They had a whole movie about them. What, I mean, billion, I don't know. I don't know what football teams go for. What would you think that would go for? Like the lowest ranking team?
I mean, honestly, I would say like $1 billion really doesn't seem like that big of a stretch. While we're talking about this, I kind of wanted to take a look. I'm trying to bring it up right now. Okay, yeah, here we go. New York Times. The last NFL team that I remember being sold was the Carolina Panthers because their owner was just a big old racist, apparently. Oh no, he was sexual harassment. He wasn't racist.
Right. I remember that. Okay, go ahead.
Built a big old fucking statue of himself outside the stadium and then got in trouble and had to sell the team. So it was hubris and it was hilarious. Anyways, Carolina Panthers here, I would say maybe mid-level franchise. So just as an example, Carolina Panthers sold for $2.2 billion.
$2.2 billion?
That's right. $2.2 billion.
Okay, and
an example of how much that would be.
Okay, and again, not a football fan, but I know they were in an expansion team.
Mm-hmm.
So to buy a complete, almost strange word to use, turnkey football league for $15 million. My God, he stole it. He stole it. So, hey, definitely, like Anthony said, this is definitely going to be a story to keep up with. What The Rock does with this place, this company, this franchise, as it's going to, as I believe he'll turn it into. So I don't know, but guys, hitting that 3:45 mark, I think it's probably definitely time to get on out of here. What do y'all think?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, any more? Perfect. All right. Smart. I think you've I don't think you have any more. So on that note, we will go ahead. Oh, what?
One more. No, it's one more thing that I really want to end. I really want to end the show on this note.
Okay.
And this is courtesy of Mark_all_elite. So basically, he's comparing a lot of old school guys to modern day AEW guys to prove how AEW is dominant over WWE right now. Would you like to hear some of these comparisons?
Please.
Okay. So MJF is the modern day version of The Rock. Mox is the modern day version of Steve Austin. Jericho is a modern day Hogan. Orange Cassidy is a modern day Triple H. Omega is a hybrid of Bret and Ric Flair. Hangman is a hybrid John Cena and HBK. Darby is Taker. Phoenix is Mysterio. The Bucks to the Hardy Boys, which is the only one that makes any kind of fucking sense here. Right. And when you have, and he ends it with this: when you have this kind of star power in 2020, are AEW always going to outdraw WWE? Hope dumb WWE fans get it.
Did a 4-year-old write this? What the fuck?
I don't know if this is this is a parody account or what, but god damn, some of them comparisons is laughable at best, bro.
The Young Bucks, like you said, the Young Bucks one, I could compare that to, but all the others are like eons off.
I like Darby Allin. God bless the kid. But a modern day version of the Undertaker?
No.
I mean, for better or for worse, he's more or less like a modern Jeff Hardy.
Yes. Absolutely. I could see that. My God, jeez.
They really just started going in weird directions.
I know. I'm like so confused on that whole post. I mean, wow.
Pentagon is a modern Lou Thez. Modern day Rock and Robin.
I think I'm.
So, what do you think about that one, Smart? Phoenix is a modern day Mysterio, because I know you're a big Pentagon Ray Phoenix fan.
I mean, in terms of when you talk about Rey Mysterio, though, you're talking about just being and doing things, having a bigger like kind of cultural impact, style impact. Like he was doing shit, at least in the U.S., that people hadn't seen before, and he had kind of like changed the game in a way that a lot of people started emulating him. So, like, I don't know if you, in terms of, like, the overall, like, wrestling in U.S., like, having that kind of impact, I wouldn't say that, but I would say that he's probably one or two, in my opinion, of, like, top cruiserweights at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair. But comparing someone who does flippity-doos to Rey Mysterio is kind of easy, I hate to say.
Yeah.
Phoenix is. I'm not trying to be a ass here, but Phoenix actually does some better moves than Rey Mysterio ever did.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's also, and I mean, we're talking WCW Rey Mysterio here, because, like, if we're talking about just Rey Mysterio, Phoenix is not nearly as over. Like, I know he's still young, but, like,
right.
You know, he doesn't necessarily connect as well as Rey Mysterio did.
Yeah, there's
with
some...
me, But I mean, with the general public, I mean,
Yeah, there's some strange comparisons there. But again, I do agree with the Young Bucks and Hardys. I could kind of see that. That's probably the easiest one to kind of put together. Yeah, I could see that. But again, it's not exactly completely accurate because, well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. But Jeff Hardy's still done shit that neither one of the Bucks have ever done, man. You ever seen the Bucks throw themselves off a goddamn cage onto a fucking cage door in front of 25 fucking people? I haven't.
And then that whole thing becomes a weird thing of like, are we talking about just their position in the company? Are we talking about wrestling style? Are we talking about gimmicks? Like, what is going into this metric of like deciding this?
Yeah, and I'll say this, like I said, I know the Young Bucks low. The Young Bucks have definitely earned their place in wrestling history, and just in terms of being like self-made men, they literally kind of cultivated their own buzz. They cultivated themselves to be basically financially wealthy outside of WWE. So
Right.
Good on them for that. But I don't know, in terms of being nuanced, I feel like the Hardys still edge them out. Because, I mean, like I said, put it to you like this. The Hardy Boys as a team, as a unit, were to me had more of an impact on the overall scope of wrestling than the Young Bucks have right now, presently, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they literally, like the Hardy Boys created a movement when they were at their hottest. The whole Team Extreme thing, you had kids dressed up like the Hardys and Lita, blah blah. You don't see that with the I don't see the Young Bucks. They've never had that level of impact.
No, they're indie darlings. They're just indie darlings. I really hate to say it that way, but the Young Bucks are basically just indie darlings, and the Hardy Boys had international fame. I know the Young Bucks have been over in Japan, blah blah blah, but I don't know, man. I mean, I see where you could definitely compare those two, talent-wise. But like Smart said, I mean, there's so many variables that you could go into there. Are we talking, in ring? Are we talking this? Or it's just there's those comparisons are just fucking stupid, I think.
No, and it just as a rule, I just think the Hardys are better. And I'm just saying overall, just because although I get the comparisons in terms of the look and all of that kind of shit, brothers and all that kind of stuff, but that to me is where the comparison stop. I just feel like in terms of nuances, there's more depth to the Hardy Boys than there ever was to the Young Bucks. Like the Hardys actually over time cultivated their own personalities to where you could see them separate, doing their own thing, occasionally come together. I don't get that same vibe from the Young Bucks. Like, to me, even though it feels like Matt, he's growing the facial hair, he's trying to branch off and do his own thing. I don't see the Bucks breaking up and being successful as individuals. You know what I mean? I feel like they're, to me, destined to be a unit for life. I don't see, like, Nick Jackson all of a sudden blowing up on his own.
Well, they tried it in TNA, and it didn't work. They're just not individual stars. They are a tag team, and they need to stay that way, plain and simple. There's no way they're individual stars. And you're right. Matt can be a star on his own. Jeff can be a star on his own. But not the Bucks. So I don't know, guys. All right, guys.
That's it.
Coming up on 4. Smark, anything else?
I'm good.
All right. On that note, I will hit the fucking music. Take your drunken ass home. And, of course, the High Marks. You guys want to check those guys out. Cheese and Mojo and G-Wiz over there on the Metal Mitt Network. 2 T's in Mitt. Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. They're on Sunday nights. Y'all want to check them out, I promise. And, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's when they're on. And definitely shout out to Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, the Inhuman Experience, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you find the usual podcast that you find. And, of course, the Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Eric, Doug, Daniel over there. I will be on there Sunday night, right around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, doing Jeopardy. We'll see how that works out. Ugh. And, of course, Stephen Milan, appreciate you sharing the show. Find him on Letterboxd, boxt.com/Stephen Milan, double the L's in Milan. And he has reviewed over 7,000 films. Check him out. And, of course, if you want to check us out, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM. Anthony, go ahead.
Bottom Line Pro Wrestling Podcast with Jason Clark available wherever you get your podcasts. Google, TuneIn, iHeart, Spotify, coming soon to Amazon. Download, rate, subscribe, review. You know the drill. Ran Time with Ray. Ray is spelled R-A-E. Look for her on Anchor.fm and also on YouTube. Got Shaheen with NuclearHeatShop.com. Got a lot of fantastic prints going on right now. ECW theme, just incredible. New Jack. Just did one of those online signing gimmicks with New Jack and Just Incredible. So head on over to Nuclear Heat Shop to get yourself some autographed merch. Also, Clothesline Media with the D for all of your t-shirt needs. And this is the part where I'm going to throw the smart to wrap us up.
You got it. Okay, fellas. So the news is that AMC has been opening up movie theaters. They're planned to. Why, I ask you, why would you want to pay $8 for Milk Duds and risk hurting yourself and those around you, potentially getting coronavirus, so you can watch a shitty movie when you can hear a good story at home from the safety of your own couch, bed, or wherever you decide to lounge? That's why we encourage you to visit our friends at Planet Raconteur. That is a Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. They got themselves a YouTube, they got themselves a Spotify, a Twitter. Check them out wherever the internet exists, all platforms.
There you go. And on that note, Smart is going to start writing the descriptions for the DSD shows.
Oh, yes, by the way, leave us a goddamn review.
Damn right.
Preferably 5 stars.
No, leave us 5 stars. God damn it. And whether you like this show or not, leave us 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn it. Bitches. Bastards. And I mean that with love. But anyway, that's it. Guys, appreciate it. Chat room, definitely appreciate you guys coming on in. Always appreciate you guys listening live. Anyone downloading the show, thank you very, very much. And we will see you guys Wednesday night for more DSD. Anthony, Smart, see y'all Wednesday. Chat room, downloaders, see ya!
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunk ass.